A pleasant good evening to you all. From the Danbury Ice Arena, I'm Chris Lynch alongside Jim Cerny. It is Game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series, and the Hat Tricks look to even the series and force Game 5 here on Sunday. And Jim, it's one of the Hat Tricks' best performances of the season last night. What do you think they need to do to repeat it?
Yeah, well, what they have to do is actually be better tonight, because Carolina is going to be better tonight. Carolina is here to win a championship, right? They need one more win in this series, so they still hold the advantage, up 2-1 in the best of 5. So you know Carolina is going to be better tonight, and they were good last night. The Hat Tricks, really good last night, are going to have to be even better tonight. So, you know, that means you're going to have to get what you got last night, scoring and production up and down the lineup, and the Hat Tricks certainly had that. 9 players were on the score sheet last night, most notably, Chris, Daniel McKittrick. His first 2 goals of the postseason. He had himself a 3-point night, hit 3 points the entire postseason, 3 assists up until last night, and he really kick-started the offense, but really production up and down the lineup, not only scoring, but on the defensive side as well.
A balanced and responsible unit. The Hat Tricks make exactly 0 changes to their lineup. They're feeling pretty confident after last night's game. There are a few changes or one that I noticed. Justin Biani, who played in Carolina, not in the lineup tonight for the Thunderbirds. They're down a D-man, and also they're going to be starting off their famous Czech line of Yuri Peshtuka, Jan Salak, and Peter Panachik, and that's been a line that caused a lot of problems for the Hat Tricks down in North Carolina. And that is one line that the Hat Tricks did a decent job against. In fact, both goals came from Carolina defensemen. The forwards did not get any goals in last night's game.
Yeah, I thought the Hat Tricks really did a good job shutting down the top Carolina forwards. You mentioned the Czech line. There's also, of course, the Ford line with the leading scorer in the league.
Yeah.
He had an assist last night.
And it was a really nice assist, too.
A really pretty play, but he had that assist. But otherwise, Gus Ford really did not have a lot of grade A scoring opportunities. And you're talking about a guy that had 5 goals in the first 2 games of this series. So Hat Tricks did a really good job there. I thought the Czech line was a little bit better than the Ford line last night. The Czech line, in particular, Salak, who's got that big wingspan. He's a big guy, gets to the net, physical. I thought he gave the Hat Tricks some problems last night. But overall, good defensive effort from the Hat Tricks in yesterday's game. And that's not just defenseman and goaltender, though they were really good. I thought it was a really terrific group effort. And the guy that set the tone to play two-way hockey, I thought was the captain. Johnny Ruiz did an outstanding job consistently coming back into his own end of the ice.
Johnny with 1 assist last night. His only point so far in the 3 completed games, with the 4th one on the way tonight. But he certainly has been unafraid of laying the body and laying his hits. 8 points, 4 goals, 8 assists in 8 games so far. It's not as if he's been unproductive the whole playoffs. He's been wildly productive, offensively speaking, but he's been finding other ways to contribute, while guys like Lucas de Benedette, who is a +10 these playoffs in 8 games, has really lifted the offensive load.
Yeah, de Benedette, continues his strong play. He's got 4 assists in this series. He's the Hat Tricks' leading point producer in the final series against Carolina with those 4 points. He had 2 helpers last night, and he and McKittrick put on the same line last night by Billy McCreary. They were flying. 2 little guys out there, and they were scooting, and they were physical, and they were finding the openings, and they had a good feel with each other, and they fed off each other really well, and just absolutely going all night. De Benedette now leads the Hat Tricks with 12 points in the postseason.
And worth noting, the one guy who I am still a bit surprised I have not said his name, or that we have not said his name that frequently, Michael Marchesson came into the playoffs with 10 points, and in 3 games, the Thunderbirds have done a brilliant job of taking him out of the offensive equation for the most part.
Yeah, I thought they really did the first 2 games in the series. Marchesson was much more noticeable, I thought, in Game 3. He was physical. Again, switching up the lines, Billy McCreary, he had Marchesson going with Brendan Sheehan as his center. And I thought those 2 had a really good chemistry going last night. Again, Marchesson does not hit the score sheet last night, but he had much better opportunities. And I think he'd come up with a similar type effort tonight. Marchesson could find his way picking up some points.
We're going to throw things down to center ice. After the brief pause where Dre, the public address announcer, will have the Danbury Hat Tricks starting lineups and the national anthems.
And the Danbury Hat Tricks taking the ice here at Danbury Ice Arena. Jim Cerny and Chris Lynch with you. It is Game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. Hat Tricks trailing 2-1. The home team has won each of the first 3 games in this series. Carolina winning the first 2 games down in Winston-Salem last weekend. And last night it was the Hat Tricks holding serve on their home ice, where they are unbeaten so far in the postseason at 4-0. The Hat Tricks with the 6-2 win last night. Interesting stat, the team that has scored first in each of the first 3 games has gone on to lose the game. Let's check out tonight's starting lineup for the Hat Tricks. Well, here we are at Danbury Ice Arena. Jim Cerny, Chris Lynch with you. That was my partner, Chris Lynch, with the beautiful rendition of our national anthem as we get set for Game 4 of the championship series between the Hat-Tricks and the visiting Carolina Thunderbirds. Your goalies tonight to our left in the home orange jerseys for the second straight night. Hat-Tricks wearing those home orange third jerseys. Brian Wilson gets the start. He has started all 8 of the Hat-Tricks playoff games so far. He is 5-3, a .288 goals against and a .916 save percentage. And in goal to our right, they are wearing their visiting white uniforms trimmed in red and black. It's Greg Hussey. Now, Boris Babic started the first 3 games of the postseason for Carolina, but Hussey has started the next 5 and now 6 tonight. Hussey is 4-1. He lost for the first time in the postseason last night. He is 4-1 at .264 goals against and a .929 save percentage. He allowed 5 goals last night. There was also 1 empty net goal. That is the most goals he's allowed in a game since February 4th when he was a member of the Watertown Wolves. And the puck is down. We are underway. Carolina in control of it. And Chris Lynch back up in the booth.
Thank you so much, Jim Cerny. The Hat-Tricks looking to get themselves in rhythm. Carolina got the first goal last night. Tucker Firth getting that first goal off a feed from Gus Ford. Pamaleon will flip it off the boards and out to the red line. Firth will whack at it. Again, the goaltending matchup, Brian Wilson and Greg Hussey. Both guys who performed excellently yesterday, as I'm sure Jim noticed. Marchessault at the circle, poles, fires, save made by Hussey. First shot on goal belongs to the Hat-Tricks.
See Billy McCurry choosing to start the Sheehan line tonight over the Ruiz line. And I thought that Sheehan line last night was flying, Chris.
And he made the note in discussing with Tyler Noseworthy that he was looking to try and get a slightly bigger and a heavier and a checker line to go against the Carolina check line.
Which is a big line. We talked about Salak before. He's our biggest forward out there. And I thought he wreaked a little havoc last night.
Plays it behind the net, turning and firing, goes across the goal crease. And couldn't quite get that one on cleanly. You hear the noisemakers. The crowd's certainly ready to go. They want hockey here on Sunday. Hat-Tricks have to earn it. DeBenedette, we've got Radcliffe taken down. DeBenedette's going to play this up to the point. Abdella can't control it, gets underneath his stick. Gonzalez will sprint back with him. Holds up and looks for a release. Left on the line. Turnover, Ford fired it. That's a dangerous guy to give the puck away to, as McKittrick will run up the wing, gets to the circle, drops it for DeBenedette. These two were dangerous last night. Hussey makes the save on DeBenedette's shot. It was the reverse of last night's for the first Hat-Tricks goal, as the fans applaud the hit. Lucas Rowe taking the brunt of the punishment. DeBenedette has to wait at the blue line. Ojic just dove to get back across and in time.
Yeah, that was Tobias Ojic delivering the first big hit of tonight's game. And Rowe was pretty slow to get up, but he's okay and back off the ice.
And Ojic's the type of player who has taken a ton of abuse throughout the course of not just these finals but the playoffs, but he also can dish out some punishment. Turnover here, shot on, Rowe can't get anything on it. Flipped up by Marchessault, and this is going to turn into a pretty obvious icing call with 17:29 left to go in the opening stanza.
Yeah, you mentioned Tobias Ojic. He gives as well as he takes, you know. He takes a lot of abuse, and he's a target, partly because of his lineage. You know, guys want to challenge the guy that's the son of Gino Ojic, right? But he's also an agitating type player, and he's a physical kid, and he just lays it on the line every night. I thought he played really well last night.
Shot sailed a little bit wide by Peshtuka. Martin controls it at the point. Panacek comes off the roll. The shot blocked by Sheehan. Marchesson goes down. Sheehan will sprint out. Amesbury with him. Sheehan, Amesbury, the shot, save made. And that nearly trickled through, but didn't. Good control by Hussey. And Daniel Amesbury jumping into the offensive play. He got a goal last night as the exclamation mark, and that seems to have jump-started his offensive tendencies.
Yeah, listen, Billy McCreary wants him to get in on the forecheck and play hockey. It doesn't need him dropping gloves and all that. He needs him playing a good, aggressive game, and that was as good a game as we saw Amesbury play all season last night, and he was rewarded in the final minute when he forced Hussey to cough up the puck behind his net and came out and scored the sixth and final Danbury goal. Great opportunity there, and what a save by Greg Hussey.
The first 3 shots on goal, as listed on the scoreboard, all belong to the hat-tricks. Yao tied up behind the play. Panacek shot on, save made. Brian Wilson makes his first stop of the night, and it's a good one. Peshtuka had that play right in the tight slot.
Well, you brought up the check line in the open, and here they are. First good opportunity for Carolina tonight, and it's that line going to work. And the big bodies behind the net, winning the battle behind the goal line, centering it out in front, and Peshtuka point blank gets stoned by Brian Wilson.
Turns, fires, kicks, save by Wilson. Radcliffe will flip this out. Dawson Baker played it with a high stick, and that'll draw a whistle 10 times out of 10.
Yes, I thought Billy McCreary had the Midas touch yesterday. We talked about all the different line changes he made and the big lineup decisions that he made, bringing Amesbury back into the lineup, moving Zach Pamelayan back into the lineup and back to the forward position. And I thought they both were key contributors in the win, deciding to sit Dmitry Kuznetsov. He's out of the lineup for a second straight night. Hat-tricks, no changes from last night.
Ford up the wing, and they score. Keplinger puts that one in, and Billy McCreary is arguing for a high stick on the Keplinger goal. He is arguing for it. The officials are leaving it as is. Keplinger's going through the line.
The officials aren't even talking to each other. Let's see.
I think they're going to count this as a goal.
Let's see on the replay. It was close, Chris. We'll see. And it doesn't look like the officials are even going to discuss it. Keplinger with the goal at 3:24. And for the second straight night, it's Carolina scoring on the road 3 minutes into the game.
That's a poor start for the hat-tricks and a poor bounce as it just went in off of Keplinger, who's had a good couple of games down in Carolina. His 5th goal of these playoffs. McKittrick look to regroup it. Worth noting that all 3 games, the team that has scored first has actually lost as Ojic completely falls into the boards. Keplinger the goal. De Benedette, Ojic tied up. He goes down. The fans call a penalty that the officials do not. Rowe waits at the blue line. Gliding on is Kennedy. Ojic still down away from the play. Kennedy makes the save. Dowler's going to run this up. Ojic having a hard time. He can't walk. He's getting up with the help of the officials, and the hat-tricks and the fans here perplexed as to why play wasn't stopped. Sheehan will knock that up. It bounces into Frankie McClendon, the backup goalkeeper's glove on the box. I am perplexed as to why play wasn't stopped with Ojic just sitting behind everything.
Yeah, you know, the linesman certainly helped him to get off the ice, but you would think that you'd get the whistle there. And, Ojic's back on the bench. I think he just had his bell rung there.
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought, oh no, did he, hurt his knee or ankle or something like that? But I think he was just wobbly. I think he had his bell rung. He's on the bench now. He's up, leaning over, and seems to be okay. Oh, you know what? It's a skate issue.
Oh, I see. His skate actually broke, so physically he's fine. The equipment just needs to get
yes,
fixed.
and right. That's why he was up on the bench and having his skate taken care of.
Marchesson took the puck behind the net. Sheehan will flip it low. Marchesson tried to get out of the hit. Sheehan turns, plays up to Robertson at the point, turns, looks for a redirect, bounces off the boards. The scoring on the goal, pretty simple. Keplinger and Ford. That's Ford's 9th assist and 15th point of these playoffs. Puck sits in the corner. Sheehan will play it. Pocket pick. Bunnell off the bench. Will keep it in the attacking end. Tucker Firth has the release valve to Peavy. The chant in the building is let's go hat tricks. Here comes Panachik. Yow's back for it. And to work it along for Jan Salak. Yow will take this puck and run with it, or try to. Controls it. Salak Yow across the red line. He'll leave it deep. Hussey will settle it with his stick. Kennedy comes over to gather it, looking for the outlet. Kennedy will just hold it and wait. 1-0 Carolina. From the wrong side of the red line, it's an icing call against the Thunderbirds. It's a mistake by them. We'll take the breather, come back in a moment. 1-0 Carolina here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
TK's American Cafe is on White Street right here in Danbury. Stop by TK's, try one of their 76 amazing wings flavors. That's TK'sAmericanCafe.com. 14:26 to go, first period, game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. And similar to game 3, the Hat Tricks are in an early 1-0 hole.
Plenty of room to try and work their way out of as Ruiz win the faceoff. Got picked off. Kennedy will ring it round the boards. Ford and Ruiz both there for it. It'll go up to Xavier Abdella. We'll try and put this on. It caught Dawson Baker in the shin underneath Kennedy. Keplinger will ring this around, the goal scorer for the Thunderbirds. Ford will pitchfork this to the center. Abdella will settle it. Grandmother Ginger in attendance. They'll throw that back on towards the net. A little bit dicey, but now Brian Wilson just decides to cover it up, and it's the correct decision.
Yeah, well, it was a good forecheck going on there by Carolina. Keplinger in there, and, the Hat Tricks tried to play it across, and it actually went off his stick and deflected towards Brian Wilson, who wisely covered up before Keplinger could come sniffing around. So face off to Wilson's left.
Batista and De Benedette doing the honors. De Benedette looks behind him. He has had a brilliant postseason. From the point, Kennedy shot blocked before it ever got on net. I think it actually hit Batista. Martin the shot, that trickles wide. And again, I think Batista got that one as well. Offsides, Thunderbirds have to regroup. Dowler comes over to send it to De Benedette. Loose puck at the blue line. De Benedette will gain the attack again. Turns and fires his shot. Don't think it caught Hussey. McDonald gets to it. Puck bounces at the circle. Dowler. That is a hand pass, and the officials signal it as such. Rowe got it over to Schnapp. Rowe is going to complain to the officials, and the officials are just going to tell him to go back and continue the play.
I mean, that looked pretty obvious that it was a hand pass, and it went directly to Schnapp, I believe. But faceoff will come back just outside the blue line of Carolina. And remember in the early going when it was 3-0 Shots Hat Tricks?
8-3
It is now 8-3 Carolina.
Yeah,
and they've built on the momentum of scoring that first goal. I thought yesterday Danbury played them evenly right after that goal. Here it looks like Carolina has gotten a little bit more of a jump tonight from scoring that first goal than they did last night.
Schnapp receives the pass at the blue line. He'll throw it on Wilson, who just settles it, and will take it with only minimal discussion in front of his crease.
Yeah, and you know what? I thought Schnapp played a terrific game last night, too. I know you kept bringing up his name last night. I thought he was very involved. I thought he was good defensively. He's an agitator. We know that he brings that part to the game, but he got involved offensively as well. I thought he was one of the guys for Carolina that really stood out.
Didn't have a point in last night's game, but was frequently driving the play. Sheehan and Keplinger, with Sheehan winning the draw. Abdullah for his D partner Gonzalez. The defensive spot is Pamaleon and Sheehan gain the blue line. Sheehan to the circle, drags through. Sheehan shot, save made, loose puck, followed up. Can't finish it off is Michael Marchesson. Good chance for the as of yet in check Marchesson to get on the final scoring sheet. Gonzalez the shot. Save made with Pamaleon right in front. And Pamaleon got hit afterwards. Marchesson gets in on it as well. And there's some of the pleasantries that we expected tonight.
I don't believe that there are going to be penalties here. This goes under the heading of Game 4 Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. Boys will be boys. No harm, no foul, as we see.
Oh, Peavy just grabbed Pamaleon by his collar on the back and just dragged him down.
Collared him, and then Marchesson made sure to get his dibs in on Peavy.
Yep.
So no harm, no foul. We keep it at 5-on-5. The officials last night kind of let them play. Didn't get out of control, but should it tend to shift that way, you can expect the officials to gain control.
Amesbury ran into Hussey. They're not going to call anything on this as Wilson will leave it for Gonzalez. Keplinger throws the hit on him. Loose puck behind the hat trick net. Bunnell comes over to play it. Flipped over the middle. Dawson Baker threw it backwards and a hand pass called for. Ruiz and Grebennikov colliding with each other. Amesbury being told to back off. Grebennikov being told. Amesbury comes over to the bench to have a chat, and he is yelling at the head coach,
Garrett Rutledge
of the Thunderbirds. That's, well, you kind of knew it was going to get a little bit on the physical side of things tonight. Are we going to have any penalties? The officials are skating over to the box. What do we have? Ruiz and Ford are having a chat with the officials. Gonzalez will come over and talk with them as well.
I got to tell you, Billy McCurry's going to be livid if Amesbury's the only one going off here. You can't have a coach baiting a player like that,
no,
as Rutledge was with Amesbury. And listen, Amesbury was running the mouth too, but that's not just a one-person penalty, and it looks like it will be called only against Danbury, going by the reaction by Johnny Ruiz. Ruiz is pretty hot going back to the Danbury bench.
Amesbury is skating over to the box. So Amesbury will take his spot in the home penalty box. Johnny's explaining everything to Billy. Johnny will go over and act as Billy's liaison to explain his feelings about all of this to the officials. Ruiz getting into it. Ford as well.
It's actually pretty funny because you have Johnny Ruiz and Gus Ford, who have nothing to do with the decision-making process here, kind of yelling at each other about what's going on.
Yeah, as though those two were actually involved directly in the...
Well, or that they have any decision-making powers here, you know? If you want to argue with somebody, wouldn't you argue with the referee? And now, two referees and a linesman getting together, and I don't know if they're trying to figure out if this needs to be evened up. And let's see, I believe they're pointing at the Carolina bench.
Yeah, they're coming over to have a chat. No, they're coming over to... Ruiz is continuing to go. Amesbury is being cited for a misconduct for inciting is the ruling on the penalty that we have right now.
That is okay. So a misconduct penalty, that does not affect the 5-on-5. It's just a 10-minute misconduct, so no power play. Just Amesbury will be in the box for 10 minutes.
Gonzalez will play this up for Bunnell. Doesn't get a lot on the release. Ruiz going to run this over the red line. Tries to chip it around. Keplinger on the bouncing puck. Keplinger to the Carolina bench. Ruiz checking him. Keplinger fumbles it, got it back. Bunnell on him. Abdullah comes over, plays it for Gonzalez. Has Radcliffe on the wing. Floats it over the middle. Baker and and Kennedy both took a hack at it with the sticks. 1-0 Thunderbirds in the lead. Hat-Tricks looking to find their offensive rhythm as forwards to the circle. No penalty whistled for anything away from the play.
No, big hit behind the play by Ojic.
Hard check. Ojic has been willing to throw some punishment around. Jim Cerny noted that he giveth and receiveth.
Yes, he does.
Ojic from the red line will try the self-pass. Ojic will go. Gets hit by Martin. Daniel Martin to the circle. Forward pass for Salak. To the red line and across. Panacek pulls up, shot, sails wide, rebound chance. Wilson covers it. It's a strange bounce off the boards, and Wilson put it under his arm.
Yeah, it was a strange bounce off the boards, and Martin got a stick to it, I think. And somehow Wilson was able to hug the post and make the save. Well, it's a heads-up play. Real big bounce off the boards and a heads-up play. Good job by Martin driving to the net.
It's one of Wilson's better saves so far tonight.
So a face-off will be to the right of the Danbury netminder, and a good face-off win there by Sheehan.
Robertson to Pamelayan. Up for Sheehan. He'll flip it over the blue line. Marchesson nearly there for it. It's a little bit too far ahead. Martin turns it over. Pamelayan tried to leave it low for Marchesson. Got interrupted. Robertson knocks it down with his glove, as does Yuri Peshtuka. Throws it ahead. Panacek dancing against Yao. Tried to throw it for a self-pass, and Yao cuts him off at the pass. Up for Marchesson. Turning with it. Marchesson handles it well. Gets out of some traffic, but a little bit too much with Salak right on top of him. Tucker Firth over the middle. Panacek at the blue line. He'll wait for it. Throws it backwards. Kennedy has to go back and give chase. 10:30 the time remaining in the opener. Thunderbirds with the game's lone score to this point. Dowler had the game-winning goal last night. Will ring this around for the captain, Ruiz, who has yet to score a goal in these finals. McDonald off the pass from Ruiz. Glides into the circle, fires a hard angle shot. Hussey got a piece of it. They're calling it a dead puck. I think the net came off its moorings ever so slightly, and yes, it did.
So it's interesting, obviously Amesbury ends up in the box. He's got the misconduct penalty, what have you. But what I thought was interesting was that Amesbury was put on a line with Ruiz and Bunnell. Last night we saw a lot of Amesbury as the extra forward with Sheehan and Marchesson, the three biggest forwards on one line together. Interesting that maybe trying to open up the ice for the smaller Ruiz and Bunnell by putting Amesbury on their line. We'll see if they do that again, if Billy McCreary does that again later in the game.
Hard hit thrown. We've got a penalty being called.
Looks like an interference call.
Yep, this is an interference call. Brendan Dowler's hopping off for the 2. Dowler's got some questions.
And Carolina will get the first power play of the game. They have 2 power play goals in the series. They lead the postseason, converting at 23.5%. And
that's that penalty that they called against Dowler.
Yeah. Listen. Puck shot in. He didn't have the puck, and Dowler took him out. You see that all the time. I probably could go either way. It goes against the Hat-Tricks here, and they've got a penalty kill to kill off. Hat-Tricks on the kill are 3rd in the postseason at 84.4%, slightly better than the 82.3% they had in the regular season.
Gus Ford was having a chat with one of the referees about something.
Yeah, he was late getting on the ice, and they wouldn't allow him to switch in.
And Billy had a word to say about that, but as it is, first 10 seconds of the power play gone by. Peshtuka the shot, Wilson the save, and it catches the netting. Just up top, we'll take a breather as we hit the under 10 by 1 second. We'll come back in a moment. From the Danbury Ice Arena, Thunderbirds in the lead 1-0 here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde drops the puck.
We're going to have a fight at center.
Levesque with a couple of big rights.
He scores!
Well, Chris, for a comfortable stay with great amenities, the only choice is La Quinta by Wyndham right here in Danbury. As for the Hat Tricks friends and family rate, you can't beat it. La Quinta. He's Chris Lynch. I'm Jim Cerny. 9:59 to play in the first. Hat Tricks trailing the Thunderbirds 1-0 here in Game 4. And still a minute 48 to go on the penalty to Brendan Dowler in a face-off in the Hat Tricks end.
Thunderbirds lead 1-0. They need just one more victory to claim the Commissioner's Cup. It'll be their second in franchise history. They won it in 2019. Danbury needs a win to extend this series to Sunday. It'll be a 5 p.m. puck drop here at the Danbury Ice Arena as DeBenedette will get the clear. The Thunderbird power play ultimately ineffective yesterday in no small part. They took a number of penalties right as they were on the power play and cost themselves a bunch of opportunities.
Yeah, they were 0 for 4 on the power play and twice short-circuited the power plays by taking their own penalties.
Panachik will play this up to the top. Ford's still not out there. Peshtuka across into the circle. Panachik to Kennedy. Kennedy, a lot of the driver on it as that'll bounce on the apron of the goal. Wilson gets his glove on it, just holds it against the backside of the twine and gets the stop with 9:22 left.
Carolina has 2 power play goals in the series, and they both came off the stick of Gus Ford. The Hat Tricks have only had 1 power play goal in the series, so special teams, if one team could break out on the special teams tonight, that could be a real difference maker.
Gordy Bonnell had the lone power play goal for the Hat Tricks. It's also worth noting Danbury had the most shorthanded goals in the FPHL in the regular season, not one to this point in not just the finals, but the whole postseason.
Yeah, correct.
Ford low for Baker to the circle. They'll swap spots. Baker at the top, holds his ground. 9 minutes left. Ford will handle it off, not that cleanly. Up for Tucker Firth, steps into some space. Ruiz comes out to check Ford, circle shot. Save made, bounces across, and Bonnell can't get the clear. Ford with his stick in the right spot. 30 seconds left on the power play. Ford will swap spots with Firth, hands the pass to him. Shot, save made by Wilson, bounces to the corner. Keplinger there for the feed, up to the point. Ford thought about the shot, winds up, shoots it, save made by Brian Wilson. He'll put it away with 16 seconds of penalty kill time left to go.
Hat Tricks going into that diamond formation in front of Brian Wilson, and pretty effective, but there was that one opportunity where I believe his Keplinger got behind everybody and a shot went through and he was screening Wilson, and that was a good stop by Brian Wilson. Carolina has to be happy with this first power play. I know they haven't scored yet. 16 seconds remain on the power play, but a couple good chances there against Brian Wilson.
Puck is cleared the length of the ice. 10 seconds left on the power play. Hat Tricks looking to stay perfect on home ice on the power play. Underneath Peshtuka. Salak comes over for it. Gonzalez skating with him. The penalty comes to a conclusion. Panachik still with it. Dowler's out of the box. Jumping on for it. Puck to the circle. Save made. Loose. Panachik got it into Wilson's glove, who kills it.
Yep, Wilson that time left a pretty juicy rebound right between the circles in the slot, and Panachik was there. And listen, this is a guy that, leads the postseason with 8 goals and has scored some clutch ones in the playoffs so far for Carolina. But the veteran put it towards the net, and he didn't get all of it, and Wilson was able to glove it down on the rebound.
Got the overtime winner in the
double
overtime winner against the Columbus River Dragons that extended the Thunderbirds season 1 day longer before they went on to win that series. As Pameleon tries to split Krepenikov and Kennedy. Kennedy comes away with it. Off for Rowe. Across the blue line. Picked off. Sheehan lays it to the walls. Puck. Stick comes up. Hussey's stick catches Brendan Sheehan right in the face, and the officials will call it. So 7:40 left to go. Danbury will get a power play. Brandon Hussey being ruled for a high stick.
Yep, no question about that one. And, listen, there's nothing criminal about that penalty. His stick just kind of rode up. He was trying to lift the stick, play the puck, lift the stick, and instead his stick came up and clearly caught him in the face. So pretty easy call there. Hussey goes to the box. It's a 2-minute minor. And now it's the Hat Tricks' turn at the power play. As we said, they only have 1 power play goal so far in the series.
Very effective on the man advantage against both Elmira and Binghamton as the long pass ahead for Blake Peavy, knocked down by Ruiz. Radcliffe will take this back into his own end. Radcliffe moved on to this power play unit, made a big difference in the regular season and postseason as Radcliffe will take this to the circle. Peavy defending him. Radcliffe to McDonald at the top. Radcliffe calling for it. He'll swap spots with McDonald. Ruiz at the dot. Radcliffe receives the pass. Puck put on. Bounces to the circle. Hussey with the save. McDonald winds up and shoots it. Caught Tucker Firth in the slot. Never went on goal with that long-range shot. Firth heading off. He's limping to the bench. That caught him in a pretty awkward spot.
It looked like it was around the ankle.
That's tough. Marchesson runs on to Benedette. In with him across the blue line. Wrong low, a little bit too far. Peshtuka can't control it. Kennedy got to it. Looking for the clear. Sheehan lays him out. Brendan Sheehan unafraid of throwing his weight around. They call him Buzzy. He's moving pretty well. Puck underneath him. Gordy Bennell there to help him out. Jared Yao looking for it. 35 seconds of power play time left. Yao wanted McKittrick. Pass doesn't connect. McKittrick at the blue line. He'll whack it deep. Yao going and giving chase. Ojic on the ice with him. Wrong low for McKittrick. Puck bounces over to Tobias Ojic. Tried to ring it on for Martin. Puck still bouncing, and the Hat Tricks all out of sorts right now with 15 seconds left on this power play. Peshtuka getting underneath Sheehan. 10 seconds left. Yao will drop the pass for Sheehan. Off for Bennell on the left. Bennell will walk this across the blue line. Takes it against the wall across. Wanted Ojic. Couldn't connect with them. The power play has expired. Both teams 1 for 1 on the PK as Ojic turns and fires it. It's a little bit too high and off the crossbar. And as Dowler comes over to pick up the loose puck, flipped it off the boards. Schnapp will run this in. Not a hat trick there to help him out. Pass dropped to the circle. Shot never got on net. Loose puck still. Dowler jostling with Peavy for it to the circle. Schnapp shot blocked. Schnapp to Gretzky office up to Grebenikov. Walking with it on the blue line, low for Peavy. He'll control it behind the net. Ruiz nearly there for it. We're coming up on 5 minutes left to go in the opening period. Wilson with the save and the long-range shot. Pamaleon comes over for the puck. Radcliffe tried to control it. Radcliffe will flip this on. We're now under 5 minutes to go in the opener. Thunderbirds doubling up the shot counter on the Hat Tricks, 14-7 as they ice the puck with 4:48 left. That'll take us to the under 5 media timeout. Quick pause, back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena. Still 1-0, Carolina in the lead.
Fairfield County Bank is the official bank of your Danbury Hat Tricks. It's where the Hat Tricks bank and the tellers wear the Danbury Hat Tricks top hat. Fairfield County Bank is the hometown bank of the Danbury Hat Tricks and proud to support their hometown team.
4 minutes and 48 seconds remain to be played in the opener. Both teams have gotten a power play. Shots 14-7 for Carolina. Yao will catch the pass basket style. Walk this in, dip it for Ojic. Holds up, puck bounced out. Hat Tricks not in sync in the opening period as Robertson will play it behind him for Yao. Flown high, Ojic tries to settle it. Tobias Ojic knocked backwards. Riley Robertson there for it.
They're having all kinds of trouble just getting through the neutral zone. Carolina playing really well defensively, kind of trapping them at the red line.
Ojic lays the check. Puck fumbled in the circle. Abdella will knock this down. Ojic tried to chip it. Pamaleon still there for it. Ojic settles it. Has DeBenedette with him, fighting the puck. Still carries it in. DeBenedette tried to get the drag. Pamaleon turns, fires. Puck bounces to the slot for Gonzalez. Turns, puts it on net. It's wide into the glass. Ojic turns, looks for it on net. DeBenedette goes down away from the puck. Gonzalez turns, fires it underneath Pamaleon's stick. Hat-tricks are getting some extended offensive zone time, but not a clear amount of stuff on net.
Yeah, nothing on net.
Abdella will settle it in neutral space. Sheehan off the bench. Flips it across for Marchessault. Hat-tricks on sides. Pamaleon to the circle. Wanted the wraparound. He'll pull it up to the opposite side. Leaves it low for Marchessault. Turns and looks for it up to McDonald. Walks the line. Shot knocked up top. Got tipped by a Carolina stick, so we'll have an offensive zone face-off for the Hat-tricks. They're having a miserable time just getting anything on Hussey's net.
Yeah, well, they're having a miserable time getting through the neutral zone and then controlling the puck in the offensive end. And no rushes. You notice no real rushes. The best chance, and their one rush that they had, was the one that resulted in the Amesbury point-blank opportunity off the rush, where Greg Hussey slid over from right to left and made the great pad save. Other than that, nothing off the rush for Danbury in the first period.
3:15 the time remaining. Marchessault with the hit. Puck sits in the corner. Marchessault will leave it low for Sheehan. This is a turnover for the Thunderbirds. Pamaleon wanted to spring it free. Marchessault up to the point. Turns, looks for the tip, and it's in! It's in! It's in! Brendan Sheehan, the tip! It's 1-1! Tie game late in the first! A trickling puck gets through Hussey, and Danbury gets the bounce they need to bring the building to life!
Win a face-off, cycle the puck, shoot it towards the net, get bodies in front. Hat-tricks did all of that there. Sheehan with the deflection. You saw Hussey was going to his left. The puck redirected to his right. That is a huge goal for Danbury in what has been really a period just kind of owned by Carolina. Sheehan second of the playoffs, second of the series, and we're tied at 1.
If it's McDonald who got the shot on net, it'd be his 6th assist in 9 games. As Butita tried to play it up, it goes to the point. Kick saved by Wilson. Ruiz can't get it through Schnapp. Schnapp turns it, fires it off the glass. Thunderbirds right back to the offensive end of the ice. Left on. Butita picks it off. Has to wait with his side offsides. Butita waits for it. Puck bounces a little bit wide. Robertson comes over for it. And yes, it is Johnny McDonald's primary assist. Across the line, Michael Marchessault gets a secondary assist, his first point of the finals. DeBenedette will leave it off to the point. Left low, Ojic there for it. Takes the hit. DeBenedette to the loose puck. Tried to flip it to the circle. McKittrick pinching. Backhand whack. Picked off by Peavy. Schnapp along the half boards. He'll run it over the middle. Schnapp will just leave it in. Takes a funky bounce off the base of the boards. Gonzalez with some speed. Gonzalez throwing on the Jets. Puck couldn't keep up with them, and that's going to be called a pretty easy offsides against the Hat-tricks.
Sheehan at 16:58 ties the game. Second of the finals, second of the playoffs. McDonald and Marchessault, as Chris said, with the assist. And boy, that's a huge goal, because as we were detailing, they were not getting opportunities. But that was a great cycle, great work down low by that Sheehan line. They all got involved. Pamaleon was involved, Marchessault was involved, and Sheehan was involved as the puck hops up into the Danbury bench with 1:30 to go. So they all got involved down low, winning battles till the puck comes back out to McDonald. Sheehan goes to the net. That's what you're supposed to do. And he gets a deflection and scores the goal. And that's just hard work for a line that was held off the score sheet last night, but I thought were very, very good last night as well.
And it's a badly needed point for Michael Marchessault, who was so dominant through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, held scoreless the first 3 games of these finals. And I think it's a little bit like Daniel McKittrick's situation. Just needs to get himself on the score sheet at least once, and then he'll get himself more in rhythm. Of course, you'd love to see him get a goal. As it is right now, he's got to defend. Grebennikov turns, shot blocked by Yao. Grebennikov, the puck bounces got into the circle, turns to the slot, Salak shot, blocked down, backhand shot goes a little bit wide. We're down to the last minute of the period as Sheehan gets checked. Kennedy turns underneath Pamelayan's stick. Thunderbirds were offsides, they're back on. McDonald wanted it forward for Pamelayan. Peshtuka knocks it down at the point. Thunderbirds looking to reclaim the lead late. Did it a couple of times in the games in Winston-Salem. Pamelayan trying to get this out and does. This is going to turn into a pretty easy icing call with 34 and a half seconds remaining in the first.
Boy, Pamelayan's not afraid, is he?
No.
And after the whistle, he's bumping, trying to go chest to chest with Salak, except can't go chest to chest when you're about 6 inches shorter than the guy. And Salak just skates right to the bench. So that tired group of hat tricks remains out there. So this is a critical face-off with under 35 seconds to go.
It's a good win for Dawson Baker. Shot blocked down by Yao. Sheehan will flip it off the glass through Pamelayan. I'll try and regroup. Sheehan laying another hit. He's been involved physically. Has the lone hat trick goal so far. Ruiz tries to carry this over the blue line. Knocked down. Good defensive work by Carolina. Abdella will settle it. Has McDonald on his left. Ruiz receives the pass. He'll flip this in. Final couple of seconds will burn off the clock. Firth comes over for it. Played around. Ruiz will come over for it. Takes the big hip check from Dawson Baker. And that is that. The Danbury hat tricks and Carolina Thunderbirds tied up at 1 goal apiece at the end of the first period. And being truthful, I think Danbury is a bit fortunate to be tied instead of down after that first period.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question. Carolina, carried most of the play. Carolina had the better of the scoring opportunities, and Brian Wilson was really the difference in that first period, making 14 saves even though he allowed the first goal of the night. But Danbury gets a hard-working goal, a gritty goal with Sheehan going to the net on the deflection, and there you are after 20 minutes. You're all even at 1 apiece, and I think if you're Carolina, you head back to the dressing room and you have two dueling emotions here. You're feeling good about a really well-played road first period, right? But you're also frustrated that you're 1-1 after 20 minutes. So that's where we are, all knotted up here in Game 4 after 20 minutes of play. And we should point out that in the first intermission, Barry Soskin, who owns multiple teams in the league, including the Carolina Thunderbirds, will join us for an interview. And we'll also have a Hat Tricks player interview, all upcoming here in the first intermission.
Hopefully Brendan Sheehan will be jumping on to join us. 1-1 at the end of the first. Quick pause, back in a moment. You're in the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
Back here at Danbury Ice Arena, I'm Jim Cerny. We hit the first intermission, Game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. And the Hat Tricks and the Thunderbirds are all even at 1 apiece. Carolina for the second straight night scoring the game opening goal about 3 minutes in. And the Hat Tricks answering back We've got ourselves a tie game, a must-win again for the Hat Tricks, who trailed this best-of-5 series 2-1. And our guest here in the first intermission is Barry Soskin, who owns multiple teams in this league, including one that's playing in the championship series tonight, the Carolina Thunderbirds. Barry, thanks for a few minutes.
Certainly. Thanks for calling me up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you and I were briefly chatting during the commercial break there, and you said, pretty good hockey, huh? Yeah, pretty good hockey.
This is great. The whole playoffs has been great. Not only this series, but the last few series for both the teams. I'm really excited and happy about the way the end of the season has gone for the league.
Yeah, and I guess any scenario you get for a championship series is neat because it's the championship series. Like if you have a team that was not expected to get there, and they upset some teams, boy, that's exciting. But I think this is pretty neat, having the top two teams in the league going head-to-head.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, we had a real big rivalry with Columbus, and I think that either one of those two teams, whether it be us in Winston or Columbus, would have been the same type of game atmosphere. All these teams at the top just were excellent. I watched not just my teams, but I watched other teams, other games. I'm a hockey nut. And I really thought that this year was the best year this league has ever had.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I haven't been involved in the league as long as you, but just comparing it to coming out of the COVID pandemic and everything,
Sure.
I thought that the league was kind of refinding itself last year, and also the fans were getting kind of reacquainted with the league last year. And then this year it all kind of came together. Attendance was way up, the play was up. Some of the better players were back playing in this league again, and it's kind of the synergy has kind of all come together in this season.
Jim, I agree. This season, it seems like it's coming together, which I think has helped us with our quest for our expansion for next year. We've already got 2 new teams coming in, and hopefully we'll have more.
Yeah, and I know you got your hand in that. So why don't you kind of take the baton and tell us a little bit about 2 new teams coming in next season?
Baton Rouge had to name the team contest. We're in the process of gathering all those names. Over 8,100 entries for
awesome.
a name the team contest. So that's pretty cool. I've got a staff going, so we'll continue what we're doing there. And in the I'm really excited about the things that are going on there. I don't have a coach, although I've interviewed, probably 10, 12 people that I think would all be a good candidate. Withville, Virginia, pretty much a new market, new building. Building was built and opened in July of 19, right around that COVID time. And so they had a little bit of difficulties. They contacted me to try to see if I was willing to put a hockey team in there, and one thing led to another, and instead of a hockey team, we're running now the whole building. Not like they're doing here. Here they literally own the building, where I'm just leasing it for 20 years.
Right.
So I call it mine, but it's somebody else's.
Yeah, but you're managing.
They allow me to pay for being there, I guess. So yeah, we run the whole building. We'll have not only a hockey team, but I'll look into some of the other sports that we could do in that building. I'm not going to do what Danbury has done, and that's have multiple teams. But I will have obviously youth hockey. But I'm looking at more soccer. I would like to put in a Tier 2 soccer league similar to this. I've seen a couple of games, and I really thought that the product was good. I'm in the entertainment business. I just use hockey. I've used baseball, and I'll use soccer if it can bring fans in. And we get this atmosphere is great.
Yeah.
This building is you've been in a bunch of them. Is this building not the loudest building in the league?
This is a loud building.
If that's what they're going for, they achieved it. Great job of being loud. I question whether that's bringing or keeping people away, but that's not my concern. It'll be my concern in my buildings, not somebody else's. I'm happy. I've known what this team has gone through, or the owners here have gone through, some of them, in the federal or in the Fed, since their existence. There was a Danbury team before I showed up in Danville. So, Herm and the guys have been here a lot longer than me are involved in the league. So I'm happy that they're back and doing this. I mean, This is awesome.
Yep. Hey, and, it culminates as the first championship series for this Danbury iteration for the Hat Tricks franchise. And certainly, it was an electric atmosphere last night. And it has been throughout the playoffs. But that said, it's still talking about expansion, and I asked Commissioner Kernan about this yesterday. How much expansion do you see on the horizon? We were talking about 2 teams next year, and I'm not just talking about for you personally, but for the league. When is it, maybe we're pushing it, let's not push it too fast, too much here. Where do you think a nice number kind of fits?
Real good question. I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I would like to have more teams so we could stay regional.
Yeah.
And until playoffs.
Yep.
And then we should do this. So if the number is, it's now 12, is the number 14, 16, 18, 20? I don't know if there's a bad number, but there is something about going too fast where there's not enough talent and your talent pool drops. We like what we see. Neither one of us want to see me playing you. I'm 65 years old. I still got on the ice, but I'm no good. In fact, when I was 20, I was no good. So nobody's paying to see us play. So as long as the talent level is what we're seeing, I don't think there's a problem adding teams. I don't know what Don said, the commissioner, but I can tell you I need to be done. I don't have any time. So,
You are pretty spread thin.
There's no spreading thin. I've been asked on these shows, how do you think you're doing? I think I'm doing a terrible job. How could you possibly watch 5 teams? Are you kidding me? I'm doing a lousy job. But, my whole thing is you hire the right people, and hopefully they do the job. You set some parameters, some guidelines, whatever, and they do their job. If they don't do their job, I guess I need to get a new one.
Yep.
So, right? You do that with everything. So, hopefully I've learned from my mistakes, and I'll copy the successes that I've had from my early days in the East Coast Hockey League with the Toledo Storm, and I was with them for, 13 years. And right here through some of the other junior leagues that I've been in, as well as right now in the Fed. This right here, and the talent and everything is exactly what I got into in 1989, 1990 in the East Coast Hockey League. That's why I love this so much. Every shift, these guys are giving it their all because they know their contract's guaranteed for the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the coach didn't like, Billy will have no problem at all cutting that guy, and he'll be on waivers tonight.
Yeah.
So the players realize that, and they're busting their butt to make sure that they're not waived. And look at this. When you go through a wall for your coach and he knows what he's doing, you wind up in the championship, period.
And that's what we have. Game 4 of the championship series tonight. Barry, thanks for a few minutes, and best of luck to the Thunderbirds the rest of this series.
You're very welcome, and thanks, guys.
That is Barry Soskin. He is the owner of the Carolina Thunderbirds, as well as multiple teams in the FPHL. 1-1 after 1. And when we return, we'll head down to the Hat Tricks locker room and we'll have a player interview with Chris Lynch. Back here at Danbury Ice Arena, Jim Cerny with you. First intermission continues. Hat-tricks won and the Carolina Thunderbirds won Game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. Josh Keplinger opening the scoring at 3:24 for Carolina in that first period. Then Brendan Sheehan tied it, his second of the series, second of the postseason, at 16:58 of the first period. And moments ago, Chris Lynch caught up with the hat-tricks goal scorer, Brendan Sheehan.
First intermission between the Hat-tricks and Thunderbirds. I'm here with Brendan Sheehan, the goal scorer for the Danbury Hat-tricks. And Brendan, what did you see on that play and how that developed and turned into your second goal of the finals?
Yeah, so we had a good shift working them down low, just cycling it, turning on their D, making them work. And as soon as the puck went low to high, I just knew I had to get in front of the net. And kudos to Johnny McDonald, great shot. I was able to just get a stick on it, and the goalie didn't see it, and the rest is history. So.
And it's the first point for Michael Marchessault as well in these finals. I'm sure that's got to be a good thing to see him get on the score sheet now.
Oh yeah, he's so important to our team, getting them going right now in a crucial game like this. I only expect more from him. So.
And a lot of shots on goal for Carolina. What kind of confidence does it give you knowing that Brian Wilson's there and able to back you up if needed?
Yeah, hopefully these next two periods we make it a little easier on them. I think we started a little slow, but towards the end we started to pick it up. I know we got more in the tank, so we're going to take it to them here.
Second period's on the way. Brendan, best of luck.
Thank you.
And thanks to Brendan Sheehan for joining us in between periods. We have an update on the shots on goal. Hat-tricks were outshot in the first 20 minutes, 18-10. First we thought it was 15-10, but 18-10, meaning Brian Wilson is the difference in this one to this point. Carolina had the better of the play. They had the better of the scoring chances, but Brian Wilson made 17 saves in that opening period. He only had to make 25 saves last night in the 6-2 win for Danbury in Game 3. And Chris Lynch is back up in the booth from downstairs. And you're getting your exercise in. I heard there was a little golf action this morning for you as well, man. You are doing it all. You're running up and downstairs. You're doing the anthem. You played 18 holes this morning.
I had a terrible putting day. I had a couple of decent drives. I had an absolutely garbage putting day, but it's always something in that sport. But you're right in your note. The Danbury Hat-tricks are incredibly fortunate that Brian Wilson made 17 saves in that first period. And they're getting as much, Wilson's getting as much exercise as I am running up and down these stairs. Hey, listen, if you want a good, quick way of burning off a number of pounds, have my in-game routine of running around this building. It's a good time, too.
Well, it's not just the in-game. It's pre-game, it's in-game, it's post-game. I'm impressed by what you do.
I appreciate that. I'm impressed by what you do, Jim Cerny.
Yeah, I do lead dual lives, don't I?
Well, we all have plenty of things that we try and keep ourselves busy with. There's the Hat-tricks.
Called work, called employment. Yes, that is us. The two teams getting set for the opening face-off of the second period. And now Carolina, their mindset, hey, let's keep grinding, get a goal or two. We're 40 minutes away from winning the championship for the Hat-tricks. It's about finding a way to win tonight and force a decisive Game 5 tomorrow at Danbury Ice Arena.
Puck is dropped. We are underway from the Danbury Ice Arena. Hat-tricks going from right to left across your internet waves as we'll get a stop pretty quickly. 11 seconds in. They're starting the Sheehan line. Sheehan, Marchessault, and Zach Pamelayan getting the start.
Yeah, and again, just like they started the first period, and they had a terrific first period. Obviously, they scored the goal. It's their second game together as a line, and I'm impressed. Their work down low is very impressive. Two big guys and a smaller guy, but Pamelayan's a small guy who plays like a big guy. He plays that type style.
Yeah, Pamelayan actually had the second most fights on the team after Daniel Amesbury, entirely unafraid of throwing himself into the mix. He'll get to the loose puck. Whacked at by Salak. Robertson, the tallest guy on the team, is rung in. That caught Pamelayan. It's a bad bounce for the Hat-tricks. Peavy will run it to the blue line. Robertson lays another shoulder check. Yao comes over for the puck. Shoves it. Marchessault at his first point and assist on the Sheehan goal. Flipped out to Salak. Peavy holds it at the circle, looks for some room to run with it. Panachek over the red line, given on to the left side. Salak at the circle, the shot save made. Salak will turn and play this up to the blue line. Another shot, another save made by Brian Wilson. We're already at 20 shots on net for the Carolina Thunderbirds, and Brian Wilson, well, he looks like Brian Wilson.
Yeah, he does. You know, the co-goalie of the year in the FPHL saw a lot of rubber last weekend in Carolina. In the first 2 games of the series, 44 saves in one game, 42 saves in another. Last night it was a much more manageable load. Carolina's getting a lot more shots through tonight on the road here at Danbury Ice Arena.
And it's not like Carolina lacked for quality of shots in last night's game. Wilson had to make a couple of 10 bell saves as the officials give the go-ahead. 53 seconds gone by, face-off one into empty space, and we have to do the face-off again as this puck has come all the way back into
Johnny Ruiz giving that slumped shoulder, just disgusted look. Oh, another face-off that didn't count?
Yeah.
No, it didn't count. So, but Johnny should be happy about that one because he was beaten cleanly on it, and now he comes back and wins one.
Gonzalez behind the goal wants it up for Bennell. It found its way out to the red line. Kennedy will lob it in with the wide of Wilson. Sits on the end of the goal. Gonzalez will pick it up. Look for some room. Gonzalez missed some time in these playoffs. He's gotten back into his rhythm as Bennell will leave it low for Ruiz. Bennell caught him on the skate. Bennell spins, skating very, very well tonight. Radcliffe will hand it off to Abdella. The shot save made by Hussey, who saw it all the way. Never had to worry about any kind of traffic.
Yep, not getting traffic to the net there. But Abdella, I like what he did. Puck came back to the point. Puck was off his stick in a heartbeat. He just snapped it towards the net. And we saw Brendan Dowler score a goal last night that way. You know, the puck came to him. He didn't hesitate. The puck got off his stick quickly, and he was able to catch Hussey moving, and it ended up being the game-winning goal.
Abdella more of a defensive-minded player. As this will sit behind the goal, Baker looking for the outlet. Abdella tries to knock it down. Puck bounces away from him. Gonzalez will win the race to the puck ahead of Gus Ford. Good thing to beat him to it as Grebenikov will keep this in. Grebenikov against the boards. We're tied up at 1 goal apiece early here in the second. Grebenikov went down. No penalty called. Grebenikov on his back. The shot by Keplinger. The save made by Wilson. Ojic trying to get this out. Ojic sends Grebenikov hard into the boards. They take each other down as McKittrick glides over the middle. McKittrick turns to the slot, and a save made by Hussey. Again, he's seeing these pretty straightforwardly, but that's a great save at that other end by Brian Wilson.
Yeah, terrific save, and in fact, he made a couple saves because he also had to make a save on the rebound as well. That's because Grebenikov tied up multiple hat tricks behind the goal line, and then when the puck squirted out into the slot, Keplinger was all alone, one-on-one against Wilson, and boy, Brian came up big.
The fans getting into it. McDonald and Schnapp tied up against the hat trick bench. Rowe across the line. Puck bounces to Butita at the circle. Dowler staying with him. Puck flipped off. Bad play by Butita. Sheehan gets right through him. Lobbed in from the red line. Marchesson goes to get this puck. Caught it with his glove and threw it to the ice. Butita got a stick on it. Schnapp will lug it up the wing. Wilson out of his net to settle it. Needs somewhere to go with it. And at McDonald, Sheehan gets knocked into by Butita. Dowler wins the puck. He'll run this on. Dowler, circle shot. That hit the pipe. Hit the post. Wow, that's a great chance for Brendan Dowler, who's gotten a couple of offensive looks. Here comes Rowe. Tries to get through Dowler. Sheehan will pick his pocket. Bennell waiting for the pass. Walks in from the blue line. Tries to create some room. Peavy right on top of him. Radcliffe with the takeaway. Bennell drops it. Radcliffe the shot. He scores! Jacob Radcliffe gives Danbury the lead. 2-1 early in the second. The New Zealander is torturing the Thunderbirds.
Jacob Radcliffe has goals in 3 straight games. Look at this finish. What a snapshot over the glove of Greg Hussey. and it's a good play by Bunnell. That's a good pass. I think Bunnell is trying to hit Johnny Ruiz with the pass. I don't think he saw Radcliffe, but Radcliffe took the puck, took the pass, and quickly got to the forehand and snapped it over the glove. His team-leading 7th goal of the postseason.
A brilliant, brilliant setup. A late arrival. 3-on-2 chances. Pashtuka tries to play it to the circle. Yao knocked it off his stick for a moment. Carolina jumping right back into the offensive end of the play. Off to the circle. Pashtuka at the point. Yao in front of him. Yao holds his ground. Radcliffe tries to play it off the boards and out. Ruiz getting in front of Daniel Martin. Played across. Salak goes across the blue line. Receives the pass off the boards. Turns, fires. That's over Wilson's head. I think his glove got a piece of it. Radcliffe up the wing. He'll push it in. Bounces off the wall. Kennedy will pull up for it. Indeed, it is Radcliffe's goal. It was a beauty. Johnny is getting an assist on that as well. So his 2nd point in as many games in these finals. And Gordy getting an assist on that one. He had the primary setup play as Ojic lays the hit on Firth. DeBenedette comes over to the loose puck. DeBenedette wanted to drop it for McKittrick. We've got a penalty going against Carolina with 15:30 left. The official's hand goes up, and Danbury is going to the power play here. Tucker Firth being sent off to the box.
Yep, hat-tricks here. Chance to really, really drive this place crazy if they can get a power play goal and up their lead to 2 here early in the 2nd period. They have their first lead of the night, and I got to tell you, place is still buzzing. The team is buzzing. Feeling it
wait
there.
a minute.
What a finish by Radcliffe.
Ojic's going off too. So they're going to call this matching, I think.
Now, I'd say here's what happened. I was wondering if this would happen. Ojic, after the whistle, hit a player along the boards. So the play was over. Hat-tricks were heading to the power play, and then Ojic did not let up after the whistle, and he made contact with the player along the boards. So, yeah, this is going to be evened up. It's going to be 4-on-4, and remember, Carolina scored twice 4-on-4 in last night's game.
The faceoff goes Carolina's way. Ford will hold it. Look for some room to work with. Tucker Firth's penalty is a cross-checking penalty. Good poke by Dowler. It's a charging penalty on Ojic is what it's ruled. Again, cross-checking for Firth, charging on Ojic are the 2 penalties ruled here. Shot blocked by Dowler. He'll come back to the end boards. Puck knocked off his stick. Ford can't handle it. Gets crunched by Dowler. McDonald. Pass across for Marchessault. Drags it, shoots it. Hussey with the save. Put his legs together and closed off the 5-hole. Sheehan holds it. Gets knocked down. Kennedy some room to work with. Has Ford over the middle. Gus Ford runs on. Ford, the shot blocked by Gonzalez, who stayed right with the league's leading scorer all the way. Less than a minute to go as Sheehan lays a big check. McDonald, a 3-on-2 chance for Danbury. McDonald will pull off, though, turns into a 2-on-2. Gonzalez tried to flip it for Bunnell. Circle shot, Hussey the save on a tough angle shot. Bunnell still working at it. Puck sat on the apron of the goal. Ruiz off the bench trying to help his friend out. They combine to hit Gus Ford. Panachek with the pass across the middle. Keplinger, Abdella stick in the right place. Xavier Abdella forces him back to the point. Picked off by Bunnell. Waits for the right time to pass it. He'll take it himself instead. Bunnell across the blue line. Underneath for Robertson, gliding into the circle. Ruiz winds up circle, shot, save made. Robertson can't get the tip on it. And Johnny Ruiz getting some offensive looks here as Yao crunches Yuri Pashtuka into the glass. McKittrick walks in, pulls up, turns, fires just a little bit over the crossbar. Robertson can't handle it. Ojic and Firth are out of the box. Panachek off the pass from across Pashtuka, the shot. Wilson with the save. Whacked out to Robertson. Peavy, DeBenedette running onto the loose puck. In the offensive end, DeBenedette, backhand shot, save made, rebound is there, and covered up by Panachek. Flip to Salak on the opposite side of Carolina defensive ice to neutral. Panachik gliding ahead. Pamaleon with them. Pamaleon forces the puck free. And it's knocked down and gathered by Blake Peavy. We'll just ring it deep. A long sequence of play as McDonald will leave it around too far for Brendan Dowler. Carolina trying to capitalize on the turnover. It won't amount to much as this will come up and out. Shoved out by J-Mac. Settles it up in front of the penalty box. Dowler and Schnapp there for it. Race won by Schnapp, in tight, backhand chance. What a save! What a save by Brian Wilson on Schnapp! The save of the finals by the co-goalie of the year in Brian Wilson, and pushing and shoving after the whistle. What a save! I think that's the best that Brian Wilson has ever made as a stick comes flying out of Johnny McDonald's hands. I hope we can see that Brian Wilson save again. That was brilliant. We're going to take a breather, come back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena. Quick pause. Back in a second. The Under 15 media timeout here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
Todd Maserati Alfa Romeo of Danbury is the premier automobile partner in the Danbury area. It's located on Newtown Road, and the Bennett family has been putting the community behind the wheel for over 35 years. Dream big, drive a Maserati or Alfa Romeo. New and pre-owned vehicles available. Let Todd Maserati Alfa Romeo of Danbury be your choice.
They've put 2-minute matching minor penalties up on the boards going against Zach Pamaleon of the Hat Tricks and Jacob Schnapp of the Carolina Thunderbirds. Hat Tricks have the lead 2-1 currently. Shots are 24-13 in favor of the visitors, but the most important thing is the actual score. It's 2-1. Danbury in the lead as we're about to have a defensive zone face-off for the Hat Tricks to Brian Wilson's left.
And we're still buzzing about that glove save by Brian Wilson.
It's the best it's the best I've ever seen him make.
I mean, it was just unreal, and no rebound either. I mean, to be in that tight, just, you know, dead one-on-one opportunity, and he not only made the save, but held on to the puck as well, so there was no rebound.
Just amazing. That's the sort of play that you can expect out of a goalie of that quality. 12:32, the time remaining as the faceoff we won back to Kennedy, spinning with it. Second stretch of 4-on-4 time. There have been no special teams. Wait, no, wasn't the Radcliffe goal was a 4-on-4 goal? Was it?
No.
No, it was a 5-on-5 goal. Okay,
yes.
No special teams goals yet. Kennedy will take it to the circle, pull up with it. Wanted it for Dawson Baker. And Quieten's coming to Danbury. Keplinger walks the line, turns, fires. The shot sent a little bit wide. They tried to get Ford in front, couldn't quite get the tip. Ford holds it well, creates some space. Ford to the slot on net. Wilson with the save, just puts it in his pads and throws his glove on top of it.
Now, that was kind of tricky because I think you're expecting a little bit harder shot there, and the puck kind of slid a little bit off the stick of Ford, so came in at a different speed, and it was skidding along the ice. Didn't really kind of lift off the ice. So that was actually a little bit more difficult of a save than it looked like for Brian Wilson.
24 saves. We're only in the second period.
He has seen a lot of action.
Riley Robertson, who's gotten into the offensive end of the play a couple of times, will take it out for Yao. Wanted across for Ruiz. Good control. Puck loose against the wall. Ruiz wants to play it for Bonnell. Tied up with Peshtuka in the corner, who'll come away with the puck. Thrown across the blue line. Bonnell got to it. Bonnell has been really, really moving in this game.
Yeah.
Beautiful assist to set up the Radcliffe goal that currently has the Hat Tricks in the lead. Stuka will work this on in deep. Sits in front of the Hat Trick bench. Yao will ring this deep to Benedette, sprinting ahead. Benedette hadn't gotten in on the score sheet, at least not yet, but he has been right on top of a bunch of loose pucks. Receives the pass at the blue line, waits for reinforcements, walks in, lost control of the puck. McDonald's there to help him out. Played to the circle and taken away by Tucker Firth. 2-on-2. Panachik receives the pass, cuts to the center. Panachik turns, fire circle, shot save made. Wilson does allow a rebound, and it's bounced out to the corner. Firth will come over and play for it. Final 5 seconds of the 4-on-4 time. Radcliffe running ahead. Radcliffe will hold it and wait. Pamaleon and Schnapp out of the box. Gonzalez will take it and spin. Abdella wants it ahead for Pamaleon, who will whack it deep. Patrick's getting the Sheehan line out with Pamaleon now out of the box. Long slap ahead. It's right on Wilson. Waits for it, and with Hussey bearing down right on top of him, makes the smart decision to take the face-off.
Yeah, Brian Wilson in these playoffs, Chris, in the 3 losses that the Hat Tricks have had so far in the postseason, he's allowed 16 goals. In their 5 wins, he's allowed 8 goals. That's how good he's been. He has been darn good. And, of course, he was darn good in the regular season, an FPHL record 31 wins this season.
Peavy turns across the line. Kennedy shot blocked down. Puck knuckled into the corner. Abdella in a wrestling match. Turned over here. Puck bounces to Abdella's stick. He'll take the release valve, wants Marchesson around the dasher. Marchesson has Sheehan over the middle. Glides it in. Sheehan takes it out to the circle. The shot sails just a little bit too high. Pamaleon across for the loose puck. Sheehan low for Marchesson. Leaves it off. Sheehan walks on, gets crunched, and the net comes off its moorings. That'll take us to the under 10 media timeout as we get a little more pushing and shoving. Marchesson getting into it with Brandon Hussey, and more Lucas Rowe.
And again, that's after the whistle, Chris. Boy, yeah. Hat Tricks have to be careful about these post-whistle situations.
You got to be a bit more careful with it. We'll take a breather, come back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena. Quick pause, back in a second. 2-1 Danbury here on the Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
Peach Wave of Bethel is located on Greenwood Avenue in Bethel. Peach Wave is your place to go for a quality treat. Yogurt, toppings, it doesn't get much better. Catch a wave, a peach one at Peach Wave of Bethel. 9:38 to go. We're halfway through Game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. And the Hat Tricks surrendered the first goal in this one. They've gotten the next 2, and they lead it 2-1 in a must-win, trying to force a decisive Game 5 tomorrow afternoon at Danbury Ice Arena.
No penalties whistled for the pushing and shoving after the whistle. Just a simple knock it off, boys. The officials have been saying that an awful lot, as well, you knew that these guys were going to get testy and we're going to get into it. It's the finals, and both these teams are desperate to pay off their great seasons with championship hardware.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the intermission with the owner of the Thunderbirds about how it's awesome that you have the top 2 teams in the league. You know, the Hat Tricks were first overall, Carolina's second overall, and to have them playing for the championship, it just feels right.
And they met in the regular season the 5 times. You felt like you could see something here as Ruiz had the wraparound shot. Save made by Hussey. Gonzalez retrieves the puck, wants it ahead for Ruiz. That was tipped by Carolina. Hussey will settle it down. Peavy Across the neutral zone. A long diagonal pass for Ford. Can't control it. Gonzalez almost turned it over. Peavy on top of him. Gonzalez still with it. He'll flip it to the Rabbit logo at center. Kennedy retreating. Ojic off the bench. Stick in the way to Benedette. Can't knock it down. Baker across the wing. Keplinger the shot. Blocker save made by Wilson and sent out and over the glass.
Well, the best chances that Carolina has had have seemingly all come off the stick of Keplinger, who scored the first goal of the game just under 4 minutes into the game. And then he had, the wide open chance, one-on-one where he was robbed. Great glove save by Wilson. And that's a good chance there, too. Off the rush, flying up left wing. He got a good shot on net and a real neat blocker save by Brian Wilson.
Peshtuk at the shot off the circle. Another save by Wilson. We're getting close to 30 saves. We're only a little bit beyond the halfway mark. Ojic, McKittrick with him. McKittrick walks in front. The shot stopped by Hussey. His best save of the night on the 2-on-1 rush by the hat tricks. Up to the point, Yao controls and settles it. Yao will ring this low. Robertson pinches in. Flips it around. Ojic comes over to try and play it. Martin there with him, as is Jan Salak. Ojic tried to pinch this out. De Benedette in the midst of it. Pass behind Peshtuka. Robertson winds up, tries to put it on net. It's picked off by Daniel Martin. He's got some room, and he'll flip it out. Hit by Pamaleon. Caught a Thunderbird. We're under 8 minutes to go in the second. Hat tricks, the lone goal in the period belongs to Jacob Radcliffe. Marchesson tries to turn it. Picked off by Riley Robertson, who's been in the middle of a number of plays throughout the course of the evening. Gus Ford across the middle behind Salak. Sheehan can't win the race. Dawson Baker got to it first. Gus Ford as Keplinger in that center takes it to the wing. Keplinger glides in, the shot save. Actually went over Wilson. Bounces to Grebennikov at the blue line. He has to regroup in neutral space. 7:15 the time remaining. Hard hit on Tucker Frith by Zach Pamaleon. Great pass from Xavier Abdella to Michael Marchesson. A 3-on-1 rush. Marchesson in front. Wanted! Brendan Sheehan goes spinning. And play is called dead. The net came off its mooring. Sheehan went spinning into the post.
You remember in the first period when I was talking about the one thing, Danbury was having trouble getting through the neutral zone and really hadn't had hardly any. In fact, I could only think of one odd man rushes or rushes of even strength as well. Here they had a 3-on-1 rush with also a couple Thunderbirds close by, but a 3-on-1 rush. Marchesson with a good cross-ice feed. Sheehan was wide open cutting to the net, but couldn't get a hold of the puck, and it went wide of the mark.
Bounces away from Gordy Bonnell. Baker will lob it in. Gonzalez goes to retrieve this. Flip to Xavier Abdella. Holds it and looks for an outlet. Abdella, long pass ahead, a little bit too far ahead for Gordy Bonnell. Abdella will pick this off again. Abdella runs this in. Ruiz to the boards, winds up, hammers it, and Hussey makes a very good save on a Johnny Ruiz blast. He's going to keep hammering those away, and eventually one of those is going to go in as the Thunderbirds ice this puck.
Yeah, I like to see that from Johnny. I don't think we've seen enough of just wind up and hammer it, Johnny. And we've seen that now a couple times.
One of them's got to go in.
Yeah, listen, good things can happen if you keep driving it on net, especially when you got a shot like his. So, yep, right thing to do there. Didn't try and carry it below the goal line and just hammered it on net instead.
Off the tie-up to Benedette's a little bit wide. McKittrick settles it, wants to flip it for Ojic in the traffic. De Benedette with Grebennikov going down. De Benedette blows a tire as well. Sits against the goal, pass ahead, tipped. Ford can't control it. It got knocked away from him as Robertson has Ojic. Pass to McKittrick, good pass from Ojic. Winds up for the shot, shoulder saved by Hussey. Thrown out, nearly a hand pass off of Kennedy's glove. Grebennikov controls it off to Benedette's stick. Ford at the wing. Ford will carry this through Jared Yao. Keplinger receives the pass thrown around the dasher. Wants Ford, holds his ground. Ford and Yao racing for the puck here. Ford spinning, goes down. Peavy there for it as well. Yao throwing a couple of checks. Ojic as well. De Benedette has Robertson for the release. McKittrick trying to get some speed. He'll just pitch it in. Hat-tricks will go for a line change. You hear the noisemakers, you hear the sirens, the hat-trick fans enjoying themselves. Their team up 2-1, looking for a little bit more. Sheehan has to hold up. He just dumped it in. Marchesson off sides. Long pass to the neutral end. Lucas Rowe to the circle, wants it in front. Marchesson tips it away from John Butita. Puck bounces into Dowler. It's a nifty backhand pass by Lucas Rowe. Controlled it without a Thunderbird able to get a stick on it. Would have been a dangerous play as we hit the 5-minute mark remaining. Schnapp takes down Dowler, threw it on net. Butita got to the loose puck off of McDonald's stick. Butita up to Peavy, tried to control it. He'll whack it deep. Rowe will run and go and get this one. Leaves it around. Schnapp wants to play it to the slot. It runs away from Peavy and bounces back to center ice. Firth, the long pass ahead for Butita, picked off by McDonald, flipped to Pamaleon, leaves it across the blue line. Sheehan harassing Peavy, trying to force the puck free. Firth is going to ice this puck. That'll take us to the under 5 media timeout. Quick pause, back in just a second from the Danbury Ice Arena. 2-1, Hat-tricks in the lead on the Hat-tricks YouTube channel.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line brawl. Robert Hyde drops the puck.
We're going to have a fight at center.
Levesque with a couple of big rights.
He scores!
Litchfield Distillery is the spirit of hard work. The Batchers of Litchfield Distillery, in honor of the early farmers of Northwest Connecticut, present to you the locally made Litchfield Distillery bourbon, vodka, and gin. Grab it at the rabbit hole and hoist the barrel with the Hat-tricks. Danbury being outshot 30-17 so far here in Game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series.
That's Schnapp laying a hit that, well, this has been an awful lot of the physicality that we have seen. It's been, well, this has been kind of the law of this game throughout the course of the evening.
Well, and the Hat-tricks have themselves a 2-1 lead, trying to remain alive in this championship series.
Ruiz wins the faceoff. Abdella tried to get it low. The tip by Ruiz goes across the goal mouth. Bunnell couldn't get to it quite in time. Thunderbirds trying to flip this out. They do. It's tipped by Bunnell and doesn't have the steam to turn into an icing anyway. Radcliffe has got the go-ahead goal. And it across Abdella. Long pass ahead. Bunnell getting behind Tucker Firth. Runs on. Bunnell held up. Bunnell plays it to the circle. The shot, he scores! Jacob Radcliffe, his second goal of the period. It's 3-1 Danbury.
Jacob Radcliffe making the finals his own. As you see him celebrate there after the goal. Now we'll take a good hustle here on the play.
Threw it to the circle. Bunnell got to it. Gordy's playing one of his very best games of the season.
Absolutely. Terrific observation, Chris. Gordy has been all over the ice tonight. Has that extra jump. And how about Radcliffe? 2 goals tonight. 4 goals in the last 3 games of this series. And he now has 8 goals in the postseason, tied for the postseason lead.
By the way, in 19 regular season games, Jacob Radcliffe had 6 goals for the Hat-tricks. When he got here, Billy McCreary noted that he was taking a minute to get himself acquainted, and even after he started getting himself comfortable with, at the time they had him on a line with Lucas DeBenedette and Michael Marchesson, they still felt that he had more to deliver. See this game.
And he's delivering.
He's brought out the best of himself as Ojek tied up with Kennedy away from the play. Gordy Bunnell gets the assist. Jared Yao also getting an assist on that goal. As the whistle sounds for the puck hitting the protected netting with 2:57 left.
Last night it was McKittrick, 2 goals. Tonight it's Radcliffe, 2 goals. You know, and then rounding everything else, contributions up and down the lineup. Tonight it's Gordy Bonnell with that extra juice, couple of huge assists, both primaries tonight. But you get, Ruiz back on the score sheet. Jared Yao points in back-to-back games now. Just up and down the lineup contributions. And the Hat-Tricks with a 3-1 lead here in Game 4.
2:40 the time remaining as Sheehan tries to get this up and out. He'll play it to Gonzalez, who will lob it deep. Hat-Tricks on sides. Tucker Firth takes the punishment from Michael Marchesson. Butita looking for the outlet. Marchesson goes down. Abdella will ring this on. Hat-Tricks offside, so they'll reset. Peavy got it a little bit beyond Pamelayan. Puck whacked out. Firth didn't get a lot on the entry. Abdella, as Gonzalez on the left. Both teams have gotten pretty comfortable with these long-range passes. Ruiz held up, left it deep. Firth didn't react to it immediately, then did. Across for Butita, a 2-on-2 run out. Butita cuts it to the middle. Butita wanted it for Dawson Baker. It was too far behind him. Follow-up pass, got it to the circle. Radcliffe for Johnny McDonald. Long in. McDonald will just go away. No hit. Kennedy pulls up, spins. Good stick by Radcliffe. He's having one of his best games since coming over to the Hat-Tricks. Bonnell running on. Bonnell with DeBenedette and McDonald on the ice with him. Coming up on the last minute and 20. Ford taking on Robertson. Ford to the circle, the shot. Save made by Brian Wilson. 2 stars of this game, or really this period, I would argue. And you could choose between either Jacob Radcliffe being the one or Brian Wilson being the one who's made 31 saves with still the entire third period to go.
Yeah, Brian Wilson has been so sharp tonight. And listen, Radcliffe with the 2 huge goals as well. Your best players have to be your best players, right? Sometimes. Yeah. And you got to get contributions up and down the lineup. But your best players have to be your best players. And so far, that's been the case here tonight.
Brian Wilson, the very best goaltender in the league, ruled as the co-goaltender of the year with Brendan Coolgan. Remember, the Thunderbirds beat him as well. Yao got crunched away from the puck. This puck gets flown into the suites. Kennedy tried to send it forward and actually caught McKittrick and just flew right into the suite levels.
And Jared Yao working over the official right now. Just trying to get an explanation on why that wasn't a call. Now he peels off and heads to the bench, none too happy about it. And now he's pleading his case to assistant coach Matt Voidy.
Not sure that there's anything that the goaltending director can do about any of this.
Except agree. Yes, Jared.
Except agree with
Yes,
him.
Jared.
Oh, well, we're just looking for some more good plays and good saves. Voigt speaks in that very kind of defined and calm way for the most part. I've never seen him get that loud or rattled.
And that's why he and Brian Wilson are such a great pairing, because Brian is so even-keeled as well. He and Matt have very similar personalities that way.
And in fact, Voidy, as we get a 2-on-2 chance, Sheehan drags it out the circle. The shot save made by Hussey. And we'll just put it away with 46 left. Throughout the whole level of the organization, Matt Voidy has had a tremendous impact with the goalkeeping for the NAHL Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks, where he was the head coach for a time. Had 3 goaltenders end up committing to D1, 1 going to the World Juniors.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson here, and Ryan McGuire, second most minutes in the NA3HL and the 4th highest save percentage while playing all those minutes. Voidy has had a tremendous effect and big impact on this season's success for the Hat-Tricks organization.
Yes, absolutely. Great point.
Final 35 seconds of the period. Hat-Tricks outscoring Carolina 2-0 in the frame. 3-1 for the game. Pitched in by Bonnell. Grebennikov comes over and gathers it. Long pass ahead. Salak walks it to the circle. Interrupted. Peshtuka tried to make a play on it. It's just barely kept on sides by Grebennikov. Final 10 seconds, Grebennikov throws it to the crease. Puck sits right there. No one can get a stick on it. Johnny Ruiz can. He'll get it up, not quite out. Good keep by Peshtuka, and the final seconds expire. Danbury takes a 3-1 lead into the final period of regulation time, and the Danbury Ice Arena fans rise to their feet to let their hat tricks hear their approval.
Well, that is on consecutive nights that the Hat Tricks took a tight 1-1 game and turned it into their own in the second period. Last night was 1-1 after one, and then the Hat Tricks outscored Carolina 3-1 in that second period. Remember, they fell behind last night 2-1. Then the Hat Tricks reeled off 3 goals for the rest of that second period, 3 goals in a row. Well, here tonight, Danbury was down 1-0. They've scored 3 straight, 1 in the first and 2 in the second. And again, Brian Wilson to me is the difference. 31 saves already, including stopping all 14 shots that he saw in the second period. And certainly a good second period for the Hat Tricks, who are 20 minutes away from forcing a decisive Game 5 here tomorrow afternoon at Danbury Ice Arena. Can't count the chickens before they're born, or before they're hatched.
You have to get to Sunday before you can play on Sunday.
Absolutely, but certainly in a better position now, up by 2 after 40 minutes of play.
We'll take a quick pause, come back with the on-ice festivities for the second intermission. Quick pause, back in a moment here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
In a relentless world, connected but alone, trapped by illusion. But there is another path, where the battle to belong begins.
Dressed for summer. Are you ready? No. All right, I got a lot of confidence in you. Now look, TK's American Cafe located on 255 White Street. Great place for wings, great place to watch sports. We got Major League Baseball going on. Are there any Boston Red Sox fans in the building today? Any Detroit Tiger fans in the building tonight? There we go. How about Philadelphia Phillies? We got one. How about the team that won it all in '86, the New York Mets? There we go! Oh, you're a Mets fan? Very nice. How about the other New York team? The New York Yankees. All right, very good. Elizabeth, are you ready?
I guess so.
All right, where are you from?
New York.
I love the hair.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Let's go. You put it in, everybody wins. Free wings. TK's American Cafe. You just want to push it. Not that way. No, towards that goal. All right, yeah. Here we go. TK, All right, Elizabeth, a little elbow grease. A little harder. Here we go. TK's American Cafe, located on 285 White Street. Oh, my God. I'll tell you what, we're going to try a different route. You throw. How about roll it? Just like a bowler. No, you want to shoot. Okay. Hey, TK's American Cafe. I like where we're going, though. This is about progress. TK's American Cafe, located on last one. Is she going to do it? I like the chances. I like the odds. I think we got a shot. You know what? That's the college try. How about a hand for Elizabeth? Everybody gets free wings. It is time for Choco-Pop. Todd Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Danbury. Located on Newtown Road. The Bennett family has been putting families behind the wheel of quality vehicles for the past 35 years. $200 cash prize if you land in there. 3, 2, 1, check your box. Fans, the Bennett family has been in this community 35 years. That's a lot of cars. That's a lot of vehicles. The quality. It's a Maserati. It's an Alfa Romeo. It's good cars. You go in there, they treat you like a human being, you leave with a car. That's what you want. You want to feel good. You don't feel good behind the wheel of a Maserati or an Alfa Romeo, you're not living. You might as well take the bus. That's Todd and Maserati, Alfa Romeo in Danbury. All right, final minute. There we go. Close. No. No. It's like a dunk tag. One. Very good. All right, we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look here. We got a bunch of winners. 754. 944. 1725. 605. 2661. 72921. Hey, that's Todd Maserati, Alfa Romeo.
in this building. They faced elimination twice against the Binghamton Black Bears. They won game 2 and then won game 3. But after dropping the first 2 games of the championship series, back here at Danbury Ice Arena, Jim Cerny and Chris Lynch with you. Getting set to start the 3rd period, game 4 of the FPHL Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. Hat-Tricks need a win to stay alive again tonight, as they did last night. And after 40 minutes of play, they lead it 3-1. Brendan Sheehan, a first period goal. And then Jacob Ratcliffe, a pair of goals in the 2nd period. His 7th and 8th of these playoffs. He is tied for the league lead in goal scoring in the postseason. And he has 4 goals in these finals as well. Not only 4 goals in the finals, but 4 goals in the last 3 games.
And by the way, you noted this as we were coming back in. I cannot give enough credit to Calvin Savoya. Some technical troubles during the intermission, and I cannot thank Calvin Savoya enough for all of his work to get us on the air and make this a reality for the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
Every night.
Every
game.
night.
Yes, absolutely.
He does the in-arena board. He does everything that is asked for and more as the puck comes backwards to Brian Wilson, who covers it up. Riley Robertson, Michael Marchesson, Jared Yao, Zach Pamaleon, and Brendan Sheehan starting things off all of 8 seconds in. Shot counter listed up on the board is 29 shots for Carolina, 21 for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. 3 of those hat-trick shots have gone in as we have a Thunderbird down. On Salak down away from the play. Running on with it, and this is going to be an offsides call. Salak just a little bit slow getting back up to his feet.
I don't think that's Salak.
Sorry, Panachek there.
Yeah. Salak is...
I was at the opposite end of the ring. My goof.
Oh, all good, all good. Yeah, Panachek went down, and he's showing the official that he's cut and that he might be bleeding there. And he says, I didn't do it to myself. And he's upset as he goes to the bench. He slams his stick down. The officials referee has his palms up in the air as if saying, I saw nothing. So we play on, 5-on-5 here in the 3rd period.
These players have been allowed to pretty much sort things out themselves tonight. Gonzalez plays this along for Zach Pamaleon. We'll throw it in from the right side of the red line. Marchesson was there to deny the icing. Sheehan got to it. Sheehan opened the goal scoring for the Hat-Tricks in the 1st period on a tip that bounced a little bit wide, a changeup that got by Hussey. Has played a pretty good finals, 18 saves tonight on 21 shots faced in net for Hussey. Late season arrival and a mid-postseason change for the Thunderbirds in net. Boris Babak had the first couple of playoff games and the first couple of playoff wins for the Thunderbirds in their opening round series against Port Huron. Minute 10 gone by. Hat-Tricks in the lead 3-1. You better believe that they want to have more than just a 2-goal lead. This Thunderbird team can explode in a hurry. Hussey gets through the checking of Ruiz, got it to the circle, lost it, and flipped out by Gordy Bennell. I really must say again, Gordy Bennell has played one of his very best games of the season for the Hat-Tricks so far tonight.
He's had a lot of jump.
McKittrick against the wall, takes the check from Butita. Good keep by the Thunderbird captain. Hussey looking for the wrap at the circle. Ojic and DeBenedette combine for the takeaway. DeBenedette tries to cut it to the middle. McKittrick had to wait across. Ojic off his skate. The shot, save made by Hussey. And that's a good save to keep it at just a 2-goal difference early in the 3rd. This building would have gone berserk if Ojic had gotten that one to go. Also, it would have been his first goal of the playoffs on a goaltender.
Yeah, that's true. 3 empty netters.
Schnapp to the circle, wanted Kennedy, caught him in the skates instead of the stick. Schnapp turns, fires Wilson with the save. DeBenedette will flip this out to neutral territory. Kennedy will knock this down. Flip to the right side. Ojic tried to control it. Salak lays out DeBenedette. Slow getting up. but not complaining about it, just takes it like a good, clean hockey player and keeps it moving.
But he also dragged his left leg behind him as he skated off the ice.
Sheehan running on. Marchesson waits for him. Sheehan lost control of it, got it back. He'll ring it around. Marchesson waits for it, receives it. Kennedy can't get there in time. Pamelayan, right to help him out, wanted to spin with it. Sheehan now involved in the play. Peshtuka looking for the breakout. Peshtuka glides it over the middle. Peshtuka walks in, whistle sounds for the offsides against the Thunderbirds, and Peshtuka doesn't agree with this. Panachik is the offending player for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, Panachik might have been a hair ahead of the play. And the linesman was straddling the blue line. He makes the call. You know, on that Ojic opportunity, he was in alone and, you know, great scoring chance. It was a great save by Hussey, but he couldn't settle the puck before he shot it. So he didn't get the exact shot that he wanted, and it ended up being more of a knuckleball shot than anything. And it was a good save by Greg Hussey.
Thrown on towards the net, bangs off the glass. Ruiz will poke this out. Johnny doing a bunch of the little things, like clearing pucks out. Hadn't gotten a goal in these finals, but has still found ways to be effective. And as the leader of the hat tricks, tipped on the wrong side of the red line, Wilson will let it go. It's an icing against the Thunderbirds. 3:30 in, and if you are a hat trick, that clock cannot run off fast enough.
Yeah, hat tricks did a good job, you know, with the lead in the third period last night. You know, they scored the only 2 goals of the period. More importantly, they kept the Thunderbirds from scoring early and kind of giving themselves hope, you know, that they could stage a comeback. Hat tricks led 4-2 after 2 periods last night. Tonight it's a 3-1 lead after 2 periods. And again, same thing, you know, really crucial. Don't give Carolina hope. You know, they get the next one, and then all of a sudden the whole tenor can change here.
Dowler had the blast. It went up into the protective netting. And the last couple of home games, Brendan Dowler has played an important role offensively, has the game-winning goal the last 2 times in a row. The hat tricks have played home games. And you might hear the chant. It's a sing-songy version of the visiting goalie's last name, who makes the save right now. Ruiz trying to turn to get this free. 6:16 to play. Long pass ahead to Ford. Ford tries to create some space. 4 hat tricks around him. Ford wants the pass to Keplinger. The change-up shot save made by Wilson. Martin knocks it down at the point. Kennedy can't control it. Has to play it back across on the opposite side of the blue line.
Yeah, Keplinger was able to redirect that knuckleball right on net, and it was a pad save by Wilson.
Ford to the circle. Ran out of room. Kennedy will play it to the corner. Up top for Martin. Long passes are connecting. Ford holds on, shot just a little bit wide. Keplinger thinks about the wraparound, can't get to his forehand. Martin winds up, fakes the shot, he'll pass it to Ford. On net, save made. Where is it? Wilson trying to cover it. It's still loose. The whistle sounded, and we get a couple of guys going down hard to the ice.
Yeah, the referee lost sight of the puck, so he blew the whistle, but Brian Wilson did not have control of the puck. It was still loose, but the referee lost sight of it, so he blew the whistle. And then we had a couple players flying down to the ice, wrestling each other down.
Dawson Baker took the worst of it right there.
Dawson Baker went down pretty hard, I believe, with Xavier Abdella.
It's a hard hit. It's a tough setup.
4:27 now gone by here in the third period, and the Hat Tricks still lead by 2. Game 5, if the Hat Tricks win tonight, would be played tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. Quick turnaround for the decisive Game 5, if necessary, tomorrow afternoon, excuse me.
Ojic trying to get this up and out. Puck turns up to the circle, shot on net, not there. De Benedette tries to flip this up to the blue line, no one on it. McDonald comes around, looks for it. Puck bounces, Robertson takes the hit, turning and looking for it. Peshtuka turns, shot save made by Wilson. Puck bounces and covered up by Brian Wilson.
And Salak just kept hammering away at the glove hand of Brian Wilson. And again, Wilson's a pretty unflappable guy. And he doesn't get involved in any of this post-whistle stuff. He just kept his glove right on top of the puck. No issues. And Salak, the big forward for Carolina, just kept whacking away at it until finally Ojic and some others stepped in and pushed him away from Brian Wilson. Another big save by him, 32 so far tonight for Brian Wilson.
15:04 the time remaining. One of Brian Wilson's very best games at this point in the year, the most important. Of course, if they win it, all they have earned is the right to make tomorrow the most important game of the season and the first in which they can win the Commissioner's Cup. Thunderbirds keep this in the attacking end. Patrick's having a hard time getting out. Sheehan will throw this out. Pamelaon sprints ahead. Pamelaon spun with it. Off to Sheehan at the circle. Sheehan dips through. Backhand shot save made. Thunderbirds will play this to the wall. Marchesson winds up his shot. Blocked to the opposite side of the attacking end. Ford over the middle. Ford glides in. Plays it up. Puck bounces. Wilson looking for a cover. The puck is sat in his crease an awful lot of times with multiple players standing right in his grill. Here in the third period, as more pushing and physicality will take us to the under 15 media timeout. Quick pause, back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena. As the hat trick's about to go to the power play, we'll get you the scoring. 3-1 Danbury in the lead.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde across the puck.
We're going to have a fight at center.
Levesque with a couple of big rights.
He scores!
Back here at Danbury Ice Arena, Jim Cerny and Chris Lynch with you. Diversified Printing Solutions in Danbury is the Hat Trick's official printing partner. If you want it printed, call Tina and let them get it inked up for you. TPS Printing Solutions, they can do it all, and they're locally owned, printed on paper from Connecticut trees. And we get some coincidental minors out of their last skirmish behind the play. Marchesson with the cross-check on Panacek, but Panacek threw himself to the ice like he was a soccer player on the pitch, and it made it a little too obvious for the officials, and they end up taking both of them off the ice. So we'll have a 4-on-4, a cross-check to Marchesson, and for Panacek, we get the embellishment call. And again, remember, Carolina scored twice, 4-on-4 last night.
Puck thrown on from the wrong side of the red line. The Thunderbirds ice it. They're not in a position where they can be taking icing calls. The puck continues to bounce against them as they'll get an offensive zone faceoff, do the hat tricks with 14:07 left to go in the...
By the way, you sense the frustration by Panacek, who's had such a great postseason, but here in Danbury has really been shut down by the hat tricks.
Ruiz tries to go ahead. Again, embellishment penalty being called.
Yeah, on Panacek after Marchesson's cross-check.
Robertson will wait for it at the circle across for Jared Yao. Flips it to the boards. It's hit. Yao will knock it down. Yao across to Johnny Ruiz. Plays it to the circle. Ruiz pulls this up. Plays it low. Bunnell tries to spin his way free. Peshtuka right on top of him. Lost the puck. Got it back. Bunnell will keep it in the attacking end. Then knocked through to Yao. PV defending him. Yao pulls up. Takes the hit. Yao keeps working. Pretty good skating for Jared Yao. Puck rung around. The hat tricks perfectly accepting of just keeping the play here. Batita threw it across the blue line. Kennedy creating some space. Radcliffe defending him. 53 seconds of 4-on-4 time left to go. Salak the shot just wide of Wilson. He caught a piece of it with his stick, so that'll be a shot on goal and a save. Kennedy got one of the 2 Carolina goals last night. Good poke by Xavier Abdella, and De Benedette clears it to neutral space. Salak regains, walks in on Abdella, spins, needs a passing partner, has Tucker Firth, turns, fires, just trickles wide. I think that did get a piece of Wilson, so another shot on goal and save, but still, Salak in tight, creates some room. Salak saved by Wilson, and he sent it up into the protective netting with 12:29 left to go.
I don't know how Salak got that much room and to be that wide open to skate from the left circle through the middle and then to the right circle with nobody really playing him. And Ratcliffe went down like a defenseman, and either he or Wilson got a piece of themselves in the way of that shot and deflected it up into the netting.
Face-off won by Butita. Ford will walk it to the blue line, turns, fires, shot a little bit wide of the net. Pamaleon, out for Dowler. Sheehan fumbling with the puck. Turned over Butita to Salak. The shot, he scores! 12:15 left to go in regulation time, and Jan Salak has cut this deficit down to 1. It's the third 4-on-4 goal of the weekend here in Danbury for the Thunderbirds. And now Garrett Rutledge's team with a bit more life.
Listen, that was a good shift by them and a bad turnover by the Hat-Tricks right here. They cross each other up. Carolina comes away with the puck. Two guys are caught behind the goal line for Danbury, and wide open is Salak for his 4th goal of the playoffs, and we have ourselves a 1-goal game and still 12 minutes of hockey to play in regulation.
Penalties are all done. Shot sails a little bit too high. Schnapp will keep this on. Brian Wilson about to be tested. Grebennikov shot knuckles down. Robertson trying to play it out to Radcliffe. Turned it backwards. Hussey with the shot. Schnapp turns, fires. It's a bit wide of the goal. Carolina peppering the Hat-Tricks goaltender.
Yeah, listen, Carolina, you know, they really played well on that 4-on-4. As you mentioned, 3 4-on-4 goals the last 2 nights. And now they are just buzzing.
Another turnover. Gonzalez tries to poke the puck free. Panachik turns. Ojic will take this out. Tobias Ojic trucks through some traffic, hits Firth. Loose puck. De Benedette tying up with Peshtuka. He'll work it in deep. It'll bounce on towards Hussey's crease. Firth can't get it out, at least not immediately. De Benedette got on top of it. Hard hit. Salak will carry this out. Salak, long pass ahead, knocked down by De Benedette. Panachik. Gonzalez there for the loose puck. Sneaks through. McKittrick will go to the corner. Racing against Firth. It's a tie for it. Ojic comes away with the puck. Wanted it to the point. Carolina skating aggressively. Looking for the equalizer. Ojic holds his ground. Off to Sheehan. The shot just finds its way wide. I think Hussey may have gotten a piece of that one, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I don't know if that maybe caught the outside of the pipe and went up and out of play, but that was a good response shift by the Hat-Tricks. Ojic played a key part in that one. Keep the puck down at the other end of the ice, generate a little bit of something, and maybe just regain your composure here, because Carolina clearly had taken over after scoring the goal.
Robertson lobs this deep. Kennedy will just hold it. Nearly turned it over himself. Kennedy will glide it up. Kennedy across the red line. Gus Ford takes it. Circle shot. Sailed a bit too high and tipped up by a Danbury stick. So we'll get a hat-trick defensive end face-off. Looks like it'll be to Brian Wilson's left. This is exactly what the Hat-Tricks didn't want to have happen, and I'm thinking back to a couple of saves that Hussey made late on in that second period that kept that game at 3-1. Those look enormous right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You always want to keep increasing that lead, right? And 2 goals just never feels safe, especially against a great team like Carolina and a team that's sniffing a championship tonight. But the Hat-Tricks still have a 1-goal lead coming upon 10 minutes remaining in the period.
Face-off went to the wall. Thunderbird set up. Salak, the shot save made by Wilson. Salak looking for his 2nd goal of the period and game. And very nearly had it. Wilson strode out to meet him and snuffed out his shot.
Yeah, Salak is really, really imposing his will right now. He's the biggest guy on the ice, and he's playing like it, getting himself into great scoring opportunities. He scored his 4th at 7:45. Butita had the lone assist after the hat-trick turnover.
Face-off 1 to Ford. Radcliffe went down. Ford across to the circle. Winds up the shot tipped by Gonzalez. Out of play. That now finally will take us to the under 10 media timeout. Brian Wilson will get a breather. So will we. Quick pause back in a moment. 3-2 Danbury in the lead here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
New Haven Nighthawk Brewing is brewed right here in Connecticut and featured at the Rabbit Hole. New Haven Nighthawk Brewing Company is the beverage of choice at the Danbury Arena. Grab a cold one and party like you're in the Elm City. 9:56 to play in the third period, game 4 of the Commissioner's Cup Championship Series. A must-win for the Hat-Tricks, and their lead has been trimmed to 3-2.
And Carolina is treating this as a must-win for them as well. Ford turned it over. Here comes Ruiz. Controls the puck. Ruiz in. Save made! And Ruiz got crunched. Ruiz is down. Just laying against the ice. Play is not stopped. Ruiz is still down. Carolina effectively getting a power play as the captain of the Hat-Tricks is laying injured at the other end of the ice. They now finally blow the play dead with 9:29 left as we get more of a tie-up, and Amy Schneider is running out to attend to Johnny Ruiz.
And also Greg Hussey, the goaltender of Carolina, to his credit, he's a competitive guy, but he immediately, when the whistle blew, he immediately went to Johnny's side to see if Johnny was okay or not. So a classy move there by Hussey. We have players squaring off down here at this end of the ice. Let's watch the replay. He is hooked from behind, and he's just shoved into the wall. It's hard to say, is he finishing his check?
It was a
or
great
no?
save by Greg Hussey that stopped this from being a goal. No, he didn't get a piece of it. It caught the side of the
it's hard
net.
to
I'm
tell
not
even.
sure. Ruiz went down hard. Boy, howdy.
And he is still down right now. His stick broke when he went into the wall, and I mean, he went in hard. And there's clearly not going to be a penalty there because play would have stopped.
There are two guys sitting in the box for the post melee, and this is a good sign. Johnny Ruiz up to his feet, and the captain of the Danbury Hat-Tricks draws applause, holding his arm tight to his chest. Schnapp asking him if he's okay. Schnapp chatting with him, and they're snapping. Schnapp got in his face. I thought that he was going to give him some goodwill, and now Ojic's in the middle of it with Firth. This is not a good situation at the Danbury Ice Arena. An injured player skating off, and Schnapp decides to get in the middle of it.
Yeah, I really can't believe that that's the route that Schnapp took right there. Johnny is holding his right arm against his chest.
Oh, McClendon shoved. McClendon and Boris Babbitt are going at it too. They're going at it. McClendon and Babbitt having to be held back. Steve Brown getting in the middle of it. Brown telling Frankie to stop. And if there's anyone you listen to in that situation, it is Steve Brown.
Absolutely, and Billy McCreary right now is working the referee.
This game has jumped the shark in a way. Holy smokes!
Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a tough one for the referees to figure out. I mean, clearly Schnapp, that was out of line, but then the Hat-Tricks come in. I mean, you could have multiple guys going off right here. The question is, does somebody come out of this with the power play? because it's crucial. Either way, a power play here could make or break a game for either team.
You see,
or
yeah.
are the referees going to take the safe route and say, two of you, and play on?
That wouldn't surprise me if they go that route. I see Ojic sitting in the box right now alongside of Jared Yao.
Only one Thunderbird
right now.
I mean, Schnapp has to end up in the box,
He
right?
should, I would think. Gonzalez and Butita, the two guys out to have a chat with the officials. They get the word from the refs. It's worth noting that the play that started all of this was Johnny Ruiz taking a painfully hard crash into the boards. I have no idea.
Breakaway.
Yeah.
If that puck did not start bouncing just inside the blue line because it bounced on Johnny, he would have had a clear breakaway. But he had to slow down to control the puck, and that allowed the defenseman to kind of catch up to him and limit the shot, even though I agree with your original call. I think Hussey did get the left pad out and make that save there.
In which case, it's one of his most important and best saves of the night in the context of the hockey game.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But then Johnny's ridden into the back wall. I mean, crushed into the back wall. He's holding his right arm against his body. And
Firth's going off.
Then, when he tries to come off the ice, Schnapp gets in his face. I totally thought you thought that he was just saying, was going to give him a stick tap and say, go on, whatever.
But that
hey,
clearly isn't
okay.
what he said.
That's clearly not, because all hell broke loose after that, including the two backup goalies reaching across the glass, around the glass to get at each other.
Which, look, I get the fact that backup goalies don't have a ton to do during the game, but that's...
Yeah, we don't need that, yeah.
Well,
so again, it looks like the officials are just going to even this thing up, because I'm not sure they even know what the heck was going on.
And I do have some sympathy for the officials in this.
It's
I
a
have no
spot.
idea how exactly you sort out the rulings and the penalties in all of this, because you can't have eyes on everything in that sort of situation. What we do know is that Ojic and Yao currently are in the box for the hat tricks. Tucker Firth went off, and that looks like Panachek, I think, in the box as well.
Yes, good call.
Yep. So those two are the guys who are sitting in the box for Carolina. Schnapp, who started the, if you will, second wave of all of that, has not gone off. Butita and Gonzalez continue to have a chat about all of this.
And, here's a spot. Both coaches got to talk to their guys and say, hey, settle down. Neither one of us can afford, to give the other team a power play here.
They've put the first of the penalties up on the board. Firth, the 2 minutes. Ojic's heading off. Ojic is leaving the box. He's going to skate back to the locker room, I think.
So that either means that he received a misconduct and he'd be out for 10 minutes.
Which would be the remainder of the game with 9:29 left.
Remainder of regulation.
That's right.
So it looks like we're going to get a hat trick power play here, but
this is that set. This is what started, as you're seeing on the replay here. That follow-up, Schnapp came across, got right in Johnny Ruiz's face, and all hell broke loose after that.
So now let's also see.
I
am looking on the bench. I am looking for Johnny right now.
By the way, I see 5 hat tricks on the ice right now. I see 4 Thunderbirds. I believe, yep, the hat tricks are going to get a power play out of this.
Well, there's definitely a power play because there's 2 minutes up on the board there. So Yao and Panachek, I guess, were the original penalties.
Firth is the only one who's got the penalty up on the board. So it's Firth's penalty that results in the power play. And the hat tricks have a great chance to return their lead to a multi-goal advantage. But that top power play is going to do it without Johnny Ruiz. He's still on the bench, jersey off, being attended to by head athletic trainer Amy Schneider. Jacob Radcliffe holds it against the wall. Michael Marchesson, Lucas DeBenedette. DeBenedette takes that extra spot on that power play unit. Radcliffe low to the circle. DeBenedette up to Radcliffe, who has 2 goals in this game. DeBenedette holds it. This would be a big goal. Shot tipped a little bit wide. McKittrick can't do anything with it. Marchesson hands off to McDonald. Walks it to the circle. He'll play this low for Marchesson. We'll get you the penalties. Next pause in the action. Radcliffe fumbles the puck. De Benedette steps into the shot. Save made by Hussey. He'll put it away in his net. It's a flurry of penalties. What do we have?
Yeah, I got them for you. So Yao of Danbury and Panachik of Carolina, 5 each for fighting. Ojic of Danbury, Schnapp of Carolina, both received 5, 10 game misconducts. And then there was an extra roughing minor on Firth.
Okay.
And that's the power play right here. Danbury's second of the night.
So ultimately matching across the way except for a Firth rough. Hamalayan will play this back up to the point. Bunnell at the circle. Again, no Johnny in jersey. Nope, he's got his jersey back on. He is still on the bench. Gonzalez will walk it to the circle. Turns, wants to put it on net. Caught the pad of Hussey.
They have Dowler playing up front as a forward to get a big body in front of Hussey.
Gonzalez the shot. Tip. Rebound. Hamalayan scores! Zach Hamalayan! The power play goal! 4-2 Danbury! The building erupts! Here's the shot. Gonzalez creates it. A rebound. Hamalayan got to it and finishes it.
Great job.
Holy cow.
Great job getting to the net. I was talking about Dowler, the big body defenseman playing as a forward up front, and he created a whole bunch of traffic in front of Hussey. Hamalayan was there as well, and Hamalayan cleans up with the power play goal.
Such a useful and fortunate to have player on your team, Zach Hamalayan, as we get a little more conversation behind the net. Hamalayan only 1 point and assist through 7 prior games, and he scores, to this point, the biggest goal in the game to get the hat tricks back out ahead and really give them some momentum going into the final stretch.
Not only momentum, but give them a 2-goal lead with now under 8 minutes to play in the period. That is Zach Hamalayan's first career postseason goal.
A big time to get his first, the native of Aiea, Hawaii. Not a lot of players coming from the Aloha State. And he comes up with a big one. Keplinger up top to Martin. Flown out to neutral space. This is not going to turn into an icing. Kyle Gonzalez gets an assist. That's his first postseason point. And Brendan Dowler, look at that. Brendan Dowler getting in on the big postseason points as well. Again, Dowler has said whenever he gets a point, it's a meaningful one.
Yeah, it's a big one. You're darn right about that one. And what a good call by Billy McCreary here. Shaking it up, putting Dowler, the big body, in front of Hussey on the power play.
Ford glides in. Radcliffe to a knee to poke it up to the point. Keplinger steps into some space. The shot save made by Brian Wilson. He'll put it away in his glove. And the officials are not going to allow any more fraternizing between the players for the remainder of the night.
Yeah.
They're trying to get these last 6 minutes, 59 seconds done.
Yeah, again, it's unfortunate what took place there, between the two teams and Johnny getting hurt and then, the mess that happened afterwards. But I got to tell you, that setting up the scenario before Hamalayan scores the power play goal, that might have been as loud as I've heard this building ever.
Also, I should note, as this play is cleared out, and probably, this will turn into an icing against the hat tricks. Johnny Ruiz has put his jersey back on, and he has taken his regular spot on the bench.
Yeah.
That's
a good sign. Let's see.
Imagine how loud this building could get if Johnny actually does come back on the ice.
Yeah, you just hope he's okay. Again, he was holding that right arm, against his chest.
Kennedy steps into some space. The shot blocked by McDonald. They'll take another icing. Some pretty tired players are going to stay out there for a bit longer.
Yeah, you can't do another 6.5 minutes of icing the puck, over and over again. I think that was a case of Johnny blocked the shot. I think he was a little stung, and he just wanted to get it out of Dodge.
Face-off won by Hussey. Puck bounces. Butita, this is a hand pass being called against the Thunderbirds. Butita went down to the ice as well. Peshtuka and Hussey disagree with it, but the officials, I think, are done hearing more legal arguments.
Yeah, I don't think they want to hear it from either side.
Yeah, they are. They have had a very long night at the office.
So you see who's been on the bench this entire period, and the Hat-Tricks are now down a forward with Ojic ejected from the game. That's Daniel Amesbury. It'd be interesting to see if he gets some ice time here in the third period.
He's one of your freshest players. I think you're going to have to play him for some meaningful minutes.
Well, especially, your Ojic.
Oh, save made by Wilson. They'll get it back out to neutral space.
Great save,
boy.
toe save. But with Ojic ejected from the game, and we don't know if Johnny's going to be able to come back on the ice.
Puck loose at the blue line. DeBenedette got it over. Ford and Kennedy have to wait. DeBenedette with the takeaway. 2-on-1 chance for the Hat-Tricks. DeBenedette glides into the circle. In front, puck bounces over the crossbar. Bonnell tries to settle it. Puck will bounce up to Radcliffe at the blue line. He'll wait. Throw it on net. Save made by Hussey. Came well out of his crouch to. Batted over to the side. Abdella up to DeBenedette at the blue line. He'll lob it deep. Radcliffe stays on. Hat-Tricks getting some changes. Johnny at the front of the bench on his feet, waiting to maybe hopping on. He's waiting. No, he's just going to take a seat. Puck turned over. How did that not go in the net? Holy cow. The Hat-Tricks nearly gift the Thunderbirds a terrible goal, and they get so fortunate that it's not 4-3 right now. Holy smokes.
That is another bad giveaway by the Hat-Tricks in the third period. One ended up in the back of their net, and that one almost did as well.
We're coming up on the final 5 minutes of regulation time. The chant in the building is "Let's go Hat-Tricks." Peavy nearly turns it over. They get the pass up to Baker at the circle. Fumbles it in tight. Keplinger can't control it. The puck a little bit behind him for a clean shot. Marchessault and McKittrick gliding in 2-on-4. Hat-Tricks don't have numbers. McKittrick to Marchessault, and Peavy's there to knock the puck down.
They don't have numbers because their defensemen are barely crossing the red line right now.
They are gassed. They have been on the ice for a lot.
It's not gassed. It's shift after shift. Their defensemen are staying back with the 2-goal lead.
Tucker Firth will knock this down. Keplinger holds it against the wall. Robertson there with it. DeBenedette tries to poke it free. Butita glides in, plays it to the point for Tucker Firth. Shot punched out by Brian Wilson. 42 saves for Brian Wilson tonight. One of the 3 stars of the game, should the score remain somewhat close to what it is right now. Out in front on the attempted wrap by Kennedy. Abdella wants Marchessault. The final 4 minutes of this game cannot go fast enough if you are a Hat-Trick or Hat-Trick fan. Peshtuka goes down. Robertson right on top of him as well. This is going to be a penalty against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Carolina will get a power play. We'll give you the full scoring on that after the under 5 media timeout. Quick pause, back in a second from the Danbury Ice Arena. 4-2 Danbury in the lead.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line brawl. Robert Hyde across the puck.
We're going to have a fight at center.
Levesque with a couple of big rights.
He scores!
Ultimate Limousine Service in Danbury is the region's premier limo service. You ever ride in a Bentley? Well, if not, call them up. The next time you'll travel in style with Ultimate Limousine. That's ultimatelimoct.com. 3:46 remaining, third period. Hat-Tricks trying to save their season and force a Game 5 of the championship series. They lead it 4-2, but they're on the penalty kill here as Riley Robertson is in the box.
A 2-minute holding penalty is the ruling against Robertson. Hussey going back into his net. I thought they might pull him. Jim Cerny, the more reasonable person among us, has noted correctly that the Hat-Tricks can just ice the puck as much as they want on the penalty kill.
Try and put it into the empty net.
Kennedy will hold it, hands off to the wall, steps to the circle. Kennedy will walk it in. Peshtuka holds it, receives it. Wilson the save, and he allows no rebound. Salak and Yao trading words. The officials, well, yeah, they're trying to keep everybody apart in the non-hockey moments.
Yeah, and good setup there by Carolina. They had 2 players in front of Wilson setting up the screen. Peshtuka, good shot on net, but the real key there is no rebound allowed by Brian Wilson.
Ford and Yao spinning away from the play. Yao trying to get this through Salak. He'll play it up to the point. Works it low for Ford. Ford up top, 4-2. Danbury in the lead. Thunderbirds need 2 to tie this thing up before the end of regulation time. Kennedy waits for it. Peshtuka will play it up to the blue line. Kennedy to the circle on the right side. Kennedy, shot, blocked down by McDonald. He'll clear it. Minute 20 left to go on the power play. Danbury 3 minutes away from forcing game 5 tomorrow night, 5 p.m. puck drop. Marcius on the clear. He threw it out. Oh, did he play that out cleanly without it getting tipped or it hitting the glass? Because if it did, that's a delay of game penalty.
And that would be a 5-on-3 for a minute 9, and I believe they got him.
Oh.
That is exactly going to be the call.
That's bad if you are a hat trick or a hat trick fan. A minute and 9 seconds worth of a 5-on-3, and Carolina is going to call for a timeout right now. They get a 2-man advantage on the Marchessault delay of game, and now the biggest penalty kill of the season for the Danbury hat tricks.
Yeah, it's a back-to-back kill, and if you're Carolina, it's imperative you score on the 5-on-3, and if you can do it quickly, all the better, because then you still have the 5-on-4 afterwards. You know, if you're Carolina, you got to come away with at least one here, but you probably need to score on both ends with 2:55 remaining in regulation. Wow.
Abdella, Gonzalez, Bennell.
Look at this.
They are pulling it for a 6-on-3.
It is a 6-on-3. Garrett Rutledge has pulled Greg Hussey. I'm a little surprised because a 5-on-3 gives you enough of an advantage. You know, here, you know, let's say Gordy wins the draw back to Abdella, and Abdella shoots it down the ice. But he doesn't.
Here we go. Carolina will set up. They have 6 skaters. The hat tricks have 3. Plus Brian Wilson in goal. 1 minute of 6-on-3 time left. Ford holds it, looking for a lane to shoot it. Up top, Kennedy will swap spots with Ford. 50 seconds left. Ford, Bennell with his stick in the way. Ford shot, he scores. It's a 1-goal game with 2:34 left to be played in regulation time. The Thunderbirds refuse to die.
That is Gus Ford's 6th goal of this series, his 7th of the postseason, and it's a huge one. His 3rd on the power play, and now it's a 1-goal game with 2:34 to play. Hussey goes back between the pipes, and Carolina's still on the power play.
A minute 39 left on the Marchessault delay of game. Coming up on the final 2:25 of regulation time. Salak across the blue line, handles it. Poked free. Hussey still at the top of his crease. Shot, save made. Where's the puck? Wilson trying to cover it, and he does with 2:16 left. Every save, which Brian Wilson, by the way, has made 44 saves tonight.
So Jared Yao blocked the first shot, but the puck was loose, and Wilson just tried to make himself as big as he could in that net, and he was able to gobble up the rebound and hold on. 2:16 to go, a minute 21 left in the power play.
DeBenedette wins a big face-off. Hussey at the top of his crease. Kennedy sprints over, got to the puck. Too far for Salak. Therefore it is Panachik now to Ford. Peshtuka at the blue line. Ford steps into some space. Ford drags. Wilson the save. And we are now under 2 minutes to play in regulation time. 45 saves for Brian Wilson.
Kennedy and Pastuca had the assists on the Ford power play goal. Wow. Just wow. There is so much to unravel in this third period.
Up to the point. DeBenedette can't get this out beyond the blue line. Ties it up against the wall.
Great
Ford,
job by Pastuca.
Ford low for Salak. Hussey waits at the top of his crease. Hasn't gone yet. 50 seconds left on the power play. 1:43 left in the game, in the regulation. Pastuca winds up the blast. Blocked by Xavier Abdella. He'll try and get it out. Can't. Got nothing on the backhander. Pastuca across to the circle. Kennedy blocked by Gordy Banal. He'll hammer it out. The net is empty. 30 seconds left on the Marchesson penalty. Keplinger runs in, tries to create something. The puck bouncing. Wilson will get on top of it and cover it with 1:19 left. 24 left on Marchesson's penalty. The sands in the hourglass cannot move fast enough for the hat tricks.
And another huge face-off in the hat trick end. As we see the empty net, Greg Hussey is on the bench. They've already scored 1 goal with the goalie pulled to 6-on-3. Now they have the 6-on-4. Huge face-off here to the right of Wilson.
They tell Ford and Yao to back up. Sheehan and Keplinger, the dance partners. Keplinger wins it cleanly. Up to Pastuca at the blue line. They'll set things up. Ford receives it. Has some room. Retreats. Pastuca winds up, wants the shot. Blocked by Sheehan. Ford the follow-up. 10 seconds left on the Marchesson penalty. He'll be jumping right into the play as we come up on the final minute of regulation time. Pastuca to Ford. On. Shot. Save made. Yao can't get it up beyond Ford. Shot blocked. Pastuca. Marchesson is out of the box. The hat-tricks kill the remainder of the penalty. Sheehan tries to float this out. Marchesson will sprint. Kennedy's there for it. Marchesson tries to get to it. Kennedy won the race back for it. Net is empty. Thunderbirds skating 6-on-5. Under 40 seconds left to go. Keplinger drops to Ford. Shot save made by Wilson. His biggest of the night. 34.7 seconds left to go. 46 saves for Brian Wilson. And one of his greatest games as a hat trick, trying to get to Sunday.
Well, he's certainly never played a bigger game than he has tonight. He's had some great games for this team, but never one with more importance and facing more quality shots and more shots, period.
Off the tie-up, puck goes to the end wall. Gonzalez trying to keep the puck stapled here. Abdella will come over for it. Backhanded around. Radcliffe tied up with Kennedy. Puck is loose. 24 seconds left. Kennedy can't control it cleanly. Spins with it. 20 seconds left. Kennedy holds it. Plays it low for Ford. Ford in tight. Save made. Puck sits. Wilson dives on top of it and gets a big applause from the crowd. 13.9 seconds left. This is agony for the hat tricks.
And remember, typically you'd have Johnny Ruiz out here taking these face-offs, right? But Johnny is hurt. Johnny has not played since being crushed into the back wall earlier in this period. So it's been Sheehan, it's been DeBenedette. Now it's going to be Sheehan and Keplinger, biggest face-off of the night.
And of the season for both of these teams. Sheehan wins it. McDonald will throw it the length of the ice. Not on net. We'll have an icing, and we'll have one more face-off. No, did they say that was tipped? Hold up. They let more time run off. They're going to put time back on the clock.
Yeah.
They're going to put more time back up on the clock. We're going to get a face-off in Danbury ice.
Yeah, I'd say about 8 seconds thereabouts. Yeah, the officials were on it. They saw it all the way.
If I'm Billy McCreary, I would think to call my timeout right here. And I think he will. Carolina has, I believe, already called theirs, or no?
No. Billy wants them to get on the ice. He doesn't want
Carolina's not ready.
He doesn't want Carolina to set up diagram of play.
Yeah, that makes some sense. All right, 8.5 seconds left. Sheehan on the face-off dot for the hat tricks. Dawson Baker wins it. Circle shot save made by Wilson. The seconds tick painfully slowly. Only 2 burned off. 5.4 left. Only 3 there, pardon me. I can't do math.
Yeah, 5.4 seconds left. 3 seconds came off the clock. Good face-off win. Quick shot on net by Carolina, but no rebound allowed by Wilson. Now's the biggest face-off. Gordy Bennell will take it.
Oh.
And now he's going to be tossed.
Sheehan is going to take it. Sheehan will send it to the boards, up to the line. The clock didn't start. The clock didn't start. The clock did not start. The goal has gone in. The officials are not going to call this. That is not going to count as a goal. The clock never started. That can't count at all. The officials are going to get together and talk about this one.
No,
the clock never started. The officials never had that one ready. There's no way that can count.
Yeah, and the officials are talking about it, and the timekeeper's trying to explain why the heck the clock never started.
Holy cow, how much more can this game have?
This is unbelievable. And like, I am sure even Carolina knows it, but listen.
They're gonna try and get that goal. If that can go for them, they're gonna try and get it.
I mean, listen, that is a horrific thing to happen. It's a mistake, but it cannot happen in that situation. So the clock says that the goal went in with 2 seconds left, but there was no way that only 3 seconds.
That play should not be counted at all. There's no way that should count.
The Hat-Tricks won the face-off, and it kind of tied itself up. Then the puck came back. I mean, that was 5 seconds in of itself.
There is no way that should count.
Unbelievable. I mean, the things that have happened here in this third period, just insane. And the officials talking it over, they got to walk this one back.
They have to just put the 5.4 back up on the clock.
And redo it?
I would think they have to. What other choice? They wave it off. It's no goal. And the game, I think, is the game over? I think they're calling the game. They're sounding the horn. What do we have? Is that game over?
Look at Hussey.
Hussey has thrown the net. This game is over. The Danbury Hat-Tricks have survived. They are calling this game over. I have no idea how. Look, you go from one extreme of I don't think that goal should have counted, but also I don't think this game actually should be over right now. I have no idea what to do right here.
Yeah, I don't know what the right thing is either.
I guess the officials are saying that the puck was dropped. An error by the clock is going to result in the runoff of the remaining time in regulation. I've never seen this before in any sporting event that I've ever seen. Covered, seen as a fan, I think the fair thing to do, honestly, put 5.4 on the clock and drop the puck again and play it out. That would be my thought.
See, the thing here is that it's not the NHL, for example, where you would have the clock, where you could go back, watch the video, see how much time actually went off.
The commissioner of the Federal Prospects Hockey Leagues is in the building. He's down talking with the officials. Billy McCreary and Garrett Rutledge are going across to have a chat. The athletic training staff, the Hat-Tricks, are trying to get off the bench. They are trying to just get this off. Billy McCreary is sending his guys back to the locker room, I think.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. The way they're heading off, this looks like this is being called a hat-trick victory. What do we have? And now the officials are getting into it with the Thunderbirds. Billy McCreary trying to just get his team off the ice right now.
Hey, look at Billy. Billy is videotaping
taking this
in. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Tell you the truth, I don't know what the right thing to do in this situation is.
So neither do I, but I'm telling you, Garrett Rutledge right now, he knows that clock didn't start, right? And now Rowe is trying to get it.
Oh no.
Frankie McClendon has come back out because Rowe was challenging Billy McCreary.
And Johnny Ruiz is running over to send him off the ice immediately.
Yeah.
That's a smart decision by the captain to just get him off.
Hey, listen.
Holy cow.
Hey, listen. Carolina has reason to be upset. The hat tricks would have had even more reason to be upset had that goal been allowed. I
The
mean,
goal shouldn't count.
what a terrible misfortune to an unbelievable game, unbelievable night here in Danbury. I mean, two absolute warrior teams, and it comes down to that, a misplay with the timekeeper.
Oh, we get more down here. The Thunderbirds getting into it with some of the people at Section 102, it looks like.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Just get them off to the locker
Get 'em
room.
off to
They
the
are
locker
heading
room.
off. What I think is about to happen here is the hat tricks. They're going to run the rest of the clock off. It's currently stopped on the board right now with 2 seconds left to go. Yep, they are calling this as a final and a hat trick victory.
Look at Garrett Rutledge.
He is furious.
Hey, listen, man.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's the wildest ending to any sporting event I've ever seen. And in a building where we have seen some stuff go down. The overtime game against Binghamton, where there was deliberation about whether or not the net came off its moorings beforehand. Whether the Columbus game, where a bad bounce got the hat tricks a loss, or the Columbus game that you called where Danbury scored and then apparently got the reply the other way, in which ultimately it ended up being a hat trick victory where Columbus scored at one end, then came back the other way. You see Rutledge heading off right now. I have no idea how you even attempt to sort this out, but the way it looks, they send everyone off.
Yeah,
this is over. This is a
it's
hat trick victory, 4-3 the final, in one of the most absolutely insane hockey games I've ever seen. Holy smokes.
I've worked 30 years in the business, all different levels of hockey, Chris. I have never seen a finish like this.
Wow.
The timekeeper doesn't turn the clock on in the final 5 seconds. You know, with the game on the line, goalie pulled 4-3, championship on the line. Unbelievable.
My God. How even do you bother about things like 3 stars? They seem so petty right now.
Yeah, Gus Ford is still out there. Panacek shaking hands with the officials.
This looks like it's going to be it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, what can you do?
John Butina is skating off in one of the most bonkers endings to a brilliant hockey game. I hope we can't lose sight of the fact that this was a brilliant hockey game with, among other things, 2 goals for Jacob Radcliffe in his best game, Gordie Bonnell, his best game of the postseason, and Brian Wilson, a 48-save effort in which he was amazing through the whole course of the night. He was spectacular. They're going to call out Nick Garofalo, the general manager of the arena. I don't think they're going to bring the players back out onto the ice for the 3 stars. I'm not sure anyway what exactly they're going to do for that. But this game
they
is
want
final.
to announce the 3 stars, but let's see.
It's ruled as a no goal.
Well, of course not. We know that.
Holy cow.
Now, see, here's the thing. I don't know. I don't think that they saw any video, right? Like, you and I here, again, objectively could tell that was more than 5 seconds.
Yes.
Right? But you need proof, right?
Yep.
You need to run back the video at full speed and see how long it was. I don't know how long it was, but to my naked eye, it was well more than 5 seconds.
Fans are starting to file out of the building right now.
I mean, unbelievable. Hat
My
tricks,
God.
outshot 51-29. Brian Wilson stands on his head, and the Danbury Hat Tricks have forced Game 5 at Danbury Ice Arena tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m.
This is one of the most bonkers games. I've been fortunate enough to see some crazy things in my time covering college hockey. Not as many as what you have, but in all of our combined experience around sports, I've never seen a game in any sport hockey, baseball, football, basketball. I've never seen anything like this. The police are actually coming onto the ice.
Well, they are heading towards the Carolina.
There are police officers on the bench right now.
On the Carolina bench. There are no players there.
Jim Brundage, the arena technical director, the Zamboni driver out there as well. Members of the Zamboni crew out there trying to ensure the police officers are going to go down to the Thunderbirds bench and locker room area.
Yeah, you just hope nothing's going on down there.
Well, a wild game.
Here are the 3 stars.
Let's very quickly give you the 3 stars of the game. They're not going to bring the players back out onto the ice for this. Gordy Bennell, the number 3 star. Jacob Radcliffe, the number 2 star. And Brian Wilson, the number 1. The Danbury Hat Tricks have survived a wild, insane ending to one of the best hockey games of the season for the Federal Prospects Hockey League.
You think?
Yeah.
How about a 6-on-3 power play goal?
My goodness.
How about 2 penalties taken in the final minutes, clinging to your season, and Brian Wilson made save after save. I mean, my goodness. Now, take a deep breath.
Yep. Game 5 is tomorrow.
Come back tomorrow, 5 o'clock. I mean, this isn't even another 7 o'clock start. You're well under 24 hours away of try and get some sleep, try and hydrate, get something to eat, rest up, and get back at it tomorrow. Brian Wilson did face 51 shots tonight, has played every single second of this postseason.
And he's going to start Game 5 tomorrow. The Danbury Hat Tricks, for the first time in franchise history, will tomorrow have the opportunity to win the Commissioner's Cup. The Carolina Thunderbirds also have that same opportunity. It's going to be a crazy, crazy atmosphere here at the Danbury Ice Arena. And I look forward, Jim and we look forward to bringing that on to you.
And there's one other note that we should point out. There is the chance Hat Tricks could be without their captain.
Yes.
Johnny Ruiz, earlier in this third period, hammered into the back wall on a breakaway, seemed to have, it looked like an upper body injury, perhaps shoulder, the way he held his arm against his body when he eventually came off the ice. He did not play another shift the rest of the game. Didn't stop him after that no goal, at the end there, from flying onto the ice to represent the Hat Tricks with the referees.
Yep.
But you really have to wonder if the captain's going to be able to play tomorrow.
Well, an ending to a game that we have never seen before will get us to Sunday, Game 5. Again, the final here at the Danbury Ice Arena. The Danbury Hat Tricks 4, the Carolina Thunderbirds 3. And we're getting word the puck drop to goal, they timed this out, was 6.48 seconds. That is 1 second longer than the time that was on the clock. So that's how they're ruling this. The game has come to a conclusion. The Danbury Hat Tricks have won 2 home games to force Game 5 here at the Danbury Ice Arena. We'll have it live for you tomorrow. Puck drop at 5 p.m. here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel. For everybody with the Danbury Hat Tricks and the Federal Prospects Hockey League, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Alongside my partner in crime, Jim Cerny, and our producer, Calvin Savoya, I'm Chris Lynch. We hope you have enjoyed your time with us this evening. Be warm, be well, wherever you may be. We'll see you for the final game of the FPHL season tomorrow night.